Good afternoon and welcome to Sandygate. Football is for life, not just for Christmas. And have we got a Christmas treat for you? For the first time, Football Forum comes to you live from Sheffield 10 as the Northern Counties Eastern League Premier Division takes centre stage this afternoon. Hallam FC haven't played in 3 weeks. Their last outing coming here, a crazy 3-2 defeat to Silsden. Manager Craig Denton said his side crumbled that night. The only crumbling round here come 5 o'clock should be any of the leftover mince pies in Sheffield 10. Consistency is key, but not when you're consistently inconsistent. Meanwhile, Handsworth arrive here having not played for even longer, not much shy of a month, and come into this on the back of 3 straight defeats in League and Cup, without scoring in any of them. That impressive run in September paying dividends for their league position at present, but that can't last much longer. It's a Steel City derby to saviour. 10th welcomes 9th in the table. Callum, Cheswick and George Barber join me, Joseph Hadfield, for full match commentary of Handsworth against Hallam against Handsworth, I should say, from 3 o'clock. Afternoon, gentlemen. Great to have you with us. Callum, we're going to come straight to you for the all-important team news.
Yes, thanks, Headers. Good afternoon, everybody. So for Hallam, they're lining up with Hugo Warhurst in goal. He's a skipper for Hallam today as well, and is followed by number 2 Jack Brownhill, number 3 Tyler Williams, number 4 Chris Salt, number 5 Nico Di Girolamo, 6 Brandon Bradbury, number 7 Adam Blakely, number 9 Scott Ruthen, number 10 Brett Agnew, number 17 the former Sheffield Wednesday fullback Daniel Pewdale, and number 19 Kieran Watson. On the bench for them is Richard Patterson, Liam Royals, Chris Wood, Brad Kerr and Aaron Wilson, who is signed today from Handsworth. For Handsworth, they line up with Matthew Sinitsky in goal. He makes his debut for the Ambers. He's the goalkeeper for them. Number 2 Elliot Walker, number 3 Henry Kahn, number 4 Jonathan Williams, number 5 Liam McFadden. He's the visitors skipper this afternoon. Number 6 Alfie Smith, number 7 Morgan James, number 8 Joe Parkin, number 9 Leon Harworth, number 10 Mitch Dunn and number 11 James Ells. On the bench for Handsworth this afternoon is number 12 Sam Smith, followed by Sam Fuchs, Rian Auerbuin, Noah Flint and Joshua Round.
You could make a club PA announcer, couldn't you? George, just coming to you very quickly. What do you make of this one? Because, as we mentioned, Aaron Wilson's just joined, rejoined Hallam, should we say, from Handsworth. He signed earlier on in the season. 7 appearances, 1 goal, and he comes back to a place where he was scoring for absolute fun last season, a division below. What do you think is going to be key in this matchup today?
Yeah, I think
interrupted there by the PA as the teams are coming out very quickly. George, what do you make of this one today?
Yeah, it should be a good one, Joe. It's a good lineup for both teams. Obviously, you mentioned Aaron Wilson coming back. He should be a key player for Hallam, really, because having seen him play in person, he's a very, very quick player, good at scoring goals. And so is Kieran Watson, and coming on to mention that, Hallam's striker, I believe he plays number 11.
He does indeed. He does. Kieran Watson's been good this season.
Yeah, has he?
Very good, very good. Just before we get on to the action, obviously a referee yourself, you mentioned that you know the assistants very well this afternoon.
Yeah, I know both Paul Matthewson and Paul Cooper. I don't know much about the referee, but 2 very good assistants, very experienced assistants, so hopefully we'll not hear as many shouts today from the Hallam faithful as what I was used to back in the day.
We shall see. Our big match referee this afternoon, Jason Smith. He's the man in the middle. Hallam then in the all blue at Sandygate. Handsworth in their change of all red. We're live here on Football Forum. Thank you very much indeed for your company this afternoon. Sandygate, it's
good afternoon everyone, and once again welcome
as we get interrupted once more by our
between Hallam and Handsworth.
By our match announcer. Callum, just coming to you very quickly. Obviously 2 meetings so far this season for Handsworth and Hallam. 1 in the league, that back in the end of September, 1 in the cup a month after. Both defeats at Oliver's Mount for Hallam. 9th and 10th in the table. Do you see much between these two sides this afternoon?
No, not at all, Addison. We're expecting a big bumper crowd here at Sandygate, so maybe that will prove impactful come 5 o'clock this afternoon, because I'm sure Handsworth, they'll certainly be fighting to just stay above Hallam in the table, of course, but Hallam, they'll certainly give themselves a right good account of it. And then you've got that talent in Aaron Wilson to come back on. He'll be wanting to make an impact against his former club, hopefully making a return back onto the pitch on his first game back for Hallam. So you can see this one being quite tight. And if Hallam get a good early start, then he should open up later on in the game.
And before we get on to the action, predictions then before the kick-off. What do you think, George? Your prediction for this game?
2-1 Hallam.
2-1 Hallam, Ches?
There's always goals that come in. I'm going 3-1 Hallam.
3-1 Hallam. I'll keep myself neutral as is usual. Right, we are about ready to get underway. Handsworth will get us underway here at Sandygate. It is Hallam against Handsworth. And we're just waiting now for kick-off. Checking with the goalkeepers, making sure all is good. Obviously, Sandygate is a downhill venue. Referee says okay. He's checking his watch. And we're off and underway here at Sandygate. Handsworth get us underway with Handsworth in all red this afternoon. Their change strip, Hallam in the all blue of their home colours. And Handsworth playing from left to right in this first half as we are looking uphill, as it were. Hallam downhill from right to left. Ball played across here to this far hand side, and Handsworth do their best to clear. Not possible, and Hallam have the chance now, obscured slightly by the opposing dugouts. It is an absolute sellout. It's absolutely rammed. And Callum, I think we were expecting it to be quite a big attendance. Not as big as this, though.
Yeah, certainly had his chance for Hallam on the right-hand side here.
The number 2 for Hallam playing it down here. Taking it to the byline, looking for an option. It's blocked very nicely.
Yeah, just go back to what you were saying on the attendance. That is, I mean, as I said to you earlier, probably going to be just shy on, I reckon, 1,000 people here. Obviously, day after Boxing Day, United or Wednesday both not playing this afternoon, so opportunity for just football fans in general, of course, as Hallam and Handsworth fans as well, to come down and support the sides as well.
Well, I was going to mention it. In comes the ball here to the back post. It's a good strike. Ricochets off a Hallam player, and it will be a goal kick to Handsworth there. So 2 minutes gone on the watch here at Sandygate, and unfortunately I've not got the team sheet in front of me, so I will be relying on the pair of you for the majority of the afternoon. I can see Callum's already got he's got his stopwatch already going. You can tell you're a commentator week in, week out.
You've got to make sure that you're clued into all of these situations, that's all. Absolutely indeed. So goal kick then for Handsworth on this far hand side. The floodlights already coming on, and we've only just ticked over to 3 o'clock here in Sheffield. You can tell it's winter. It's past Christmas, for goodness sakes, and it will be a throw-in, in fact, the way of Handsworth. So 2 minutes on the watch here. It's worth mentioning, in fact, that the last time that these sides met, as we've mentioned previously, defeats both for Hallam and for Handsworth. Defeat for Hallam on both occasions. Handsworth looking to build an attack here, but Hugo Warhurst, he's been the player of the month for Hallam, as was mentioned in the match programme. And Hugo Warhurst, the last game that he had, in fact, it was an absolutely incredible chance. He had 95th minute, and surprised he's not playing up front with that kind of athletic strike force. Yeah, well, Hugo's got great pedigree. Spent a lot of his youth career at Sheffield United's academy.
Oh,
played,
of course he did.
Yeah, played against Hugo a
and
couple of times myself. So certainly a good goalkeeper, but he probably would have thought he would have done a little bit more with his career. But he's certainly doing well for Hallam.
Now, as this is offside for Handsworth, good effort and good attempt to play the ball forward, but sadly it comes to nothing. Offside there, and it will be a free kick for the home side. And coming to you, George, for this for the opening minutes. This type of game for a referee, big Steel City derby, Handsworth against Hallam, two teams next to each other in the table. What do you think must go through the mind of a referee before they're officiating a game like this?
Well, you've just got to set your. I'll let you go, Aaron.
Let's continue as the ball is played through here. Handsworth. Bit of a slip there. It is the number 9, and it is Leon Howarth. He's been in tremendous form so far this season.
Yeah, as I was saying, Anders, I think the referee will just be trying to feel how this game's going to go. He doesn't want to get too involved too early on because he don't want to lose control of the game.
Absolutely not. Bit of a foul here. The referee, he is giving the free kick.
There'll be lots of that today.
There'll be lots of that, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
So Warhurst then throwing this ball down. It will be the number 9. It will be Brett Agnew. He's been in tremendous form so far this season. Oh, sorry, Scott Ruthven is the shirt number 9. He will be taking this free kick. Ruthven with the ball in then. It's played long, it's a good chance. Oh, there's the bar! Quality effort there from the Hallam player. You can't see.
It was Kieran Watson.
You think Kieran Watson? It was a fantastic header from him. It was number 19. It was indeed Kieran Watson. Fantastic header from him. Sadly, hitting the crossbar and going over. So 0-0. 5 on the watch. Walker on this far side for Handsworth. McFadden. Here's Khan. Sending it forward as we're having a bit of a melee in the stand here. Very windy. So Handsworth throw then, on halfway. Hallam looked to play this further downfield, and sadly, they're not really going to get there. It's played out, and Zaniski, the debutant in goal for Handsworth, he clears it long downfield. Here's Howarth.
I think that's ended up going out for a goal kick.
Going out for a goal kick. It is ridiculously hard to see from this vantage position here. We were expecting a lot, but
it's not ridiculously hard. You literally just can't see.
Yeah, you can't see. Well, surely that is ridiculously hard.
I suppose the slight uphill turn of it as well is the beauty of Sandygate in itself.
Have you ever seen so many people at a non-league football match? This is incredible.
Well, I mean, it's got some history, has it, Sandygate? So,
of course it has. Here's number 7. This is Morgan James. Dispossessed. Williams. Watson. Looking for Williams on this far side. He will get there, will he? He will indeed. But Handsworth can clear away. The referee's pulled it back for something.
Goal kick.
Goal kick to Handsworth. And just talk us through the way these teams tactically line up, Callum, because I believe I'm just checking the team sheet. It looks like we have a couple of wing backs today.
Yeah, and it was interesting to try and see what shape both sides are going to play. I mean, I can see Hallam playing with a kind of a 5-2-1-2. You've got the number 9, Ruthven, and Ague both switching between the 10 role, or the attacking midfield role, and up top you've got Watson sticking up front for Hallam as well. Whereas
and here comes a chance. This is Ailes. He still has the ball here. Howarth looking for Ailes once more. Hallam can clear downfield, but it is still in their half. Here is Walker. Offside, according to the referee. So Hallam have a free kick.
But yeah, just going back to the shape, it's interesting more so in my opinion to see how Handsworth have set up there. Kind of, they've got a bit of a diamond in that midfield with the number 10 Mitch Dunn. He's playing as an attacking midfielder. You've got Morgan James and Joe Parkin left and right of him, but they're fairly narrow centre midfielders, but they're both drifting in and out of areas to try and get on the ball. So it should be quite an intriguing battle, especially in the centre of the park.
A few fisticuffs, all right, a few words exchanged, shall we say, between the Handsworth player and the referee. Hallam with the ball then. This is Bradbury. Playing it downfield, and Handsworth will get that for a goal kick. So 9 gone on the watch, 0-0. Hallam Handsworth. Bit of a shove in there, but Chris Salt clearing the ball away. This is Brownhill. Can he keep it in play? He does, very nicely. Here's Blakely. Blakely looking for an opening. He's going to get there, but Handsworth regaining possession. Hallam with the ball here. This is Williams on the left-hand side. Played across the park. Played out to Brownhill. Brownhill looking for the ball. Good save. Blakely. Bit of a loose ball there, and Handsworth can build now. Through Dunn. This is Dunn. Dispossessed once again. Hallam have the ball back, and it's out for a throw-in. Oh, is it? No, it is not. Played forward for Hallam here. Smith. And Zinierski will pick up the ball once more. And just a word on the conditions this afternoon, gentlemen, because let's be fair, I think we expected it to be cold. We've had rain, we've had wind, we've still got wind, and it is bitterly freezing, I think is the way of putting it.
Should have worn my gloves, Adders.
I think you're correct in that. Yes. Played forward then. Here is Dunn. Dunn with a chance, and it is just wide. Dunn with a good effort there, but sadly goes wide of the post. Remains 0-0. Goal kick for Hallam.
Best chance of the game, isn't it?
Well, I'd say it's probably well. It depends, that or the crossbar earlier on in the game.
I would say that one's harder to score. The headed one down there.
The crossbar hit. And what do you think Dunn did wrong there?
Well, he hit it wide.
Well, he didn't put it in the net. It's probably the way of putting that. Sorry, I set you up for that one. Hallam 0, Handsworth 0. I've never seen this so busy, especially on the day after Boxing Day. But
well, what better way to spend your afternoon, Alice? Really?
Exactly. Bradbury, and it's a bit of non-league standard football, shall we say? Playing it around a very small area, and it hitting everyone within sight. Goal kicked Hallam.
I must admit, every time I've been here, I always seem perplexed at how they manage to get the ball to stay in the quadrant out on that far corner flag.
Well, you can see how windy it is. The corner flag is barely standing upright.
And it's more the way that it's on such an angle. I don't know how the ball sticks, but anyway.
So it is a Hallam ball. Will be a free kick. And as we mentioned, Hallam coming into this one on the back of that 3-2 defeat at home to Silsden, I should say. We were here. Football Forum was here the last time, back on December the 6th. But as you mentioned, consistently inconsistent, I think, is the way to put it for Hallam so far this season. Handsworth, they're on the back of 3 straight defeats in League and Cup. They've obviously played Stockbridge Park Steels in one of them. This ball's played in here for Hallam. Handsworth looking to clear. And Dunn will do his best to clear. Here's Isles. Throw in Handsworth. And as we were mentioning, Stockbridge Park Steels, obviously playing Handsworth recently, last month. That must be some good experience for the Handsworth boys.
Yeah, sure. I've been up to Stockbridge quite a few times, actually. And they are a good little side. They've got a good side in Ian Richards this season. Obviously, I'm sure he used to manage Penistone.
Well, they all tend to sort of go around the same area, so Penistone not too far away.
Yeah, Handsworth being able to play against the side that are in the league above would have been good experience for them. I'm guessing they lost.
They did, 2-0 defeat there, but as you say, good experience. Hallam with the ball here. Back to Warhurst in the goal. We do apologise for the wind conditions here. If you can, well, how can you not hear it through our microphones? But it is increasingly windy. Thankfully, we're in decent cover. I don't know how I feel about George on the end for the next couple of hours, but it's absolutely freezing over there.
No, it won't be long until I won't be able to speak because my mouth's frozen shut.
That's the voice of George Barber. He's our one of our assistant pundits here on Football Forum. We've not mentioned Malik Wilkes yet, and we've been on air 20 minutes, so he must have done well. Chance here for Hallam. Here's Brownell. Oh!
That's something Malik Wilkes would have done.
Well, that ball's aiming down towards the next postcode, unfortunately. The wind not on his side there, and Handsworth with the goal kick. So it's Football Forum Live here on Spotify, and your preferred podcast provider. Thank you very much indeed for your company on this bitterly cold afternoon here at Sandygate in Sheffield 10. Ziniski with the ball up. Williams to clear that away. Haworth will leave that, and it will be a throw to Handsworth. Walker to take it on the near side here.
Samu was watching it and he said
a lot of play around the middle of the park, but unfortunately no real end product so far. Here's Brownell. Brownell for Ruthven. Here's Agnew. No, sorry, that is Watson. Watson towards the byline. Brownell. Bradbury to have a go. And Handsworth clear once more. Salt. Brownell. Bradbury. Brownell once more. Brownell with the ball in. Can anyone? No. And Zaniski with a good save once more.
Well, I must admit, every time that Brownell's got the ball, his first thought is trying to attack the box. So that's exactly what you want from your wide players, especially wing backs. You're only your main source of width, and that's exactly what he's providing so far.
Handsworth ball. 16 on the watch here at Sandygate. Walker. Looking for Dunn. Dispossessed and Agnew. And Blakely putting the ball out of play. Just by the dugouts. It's been strangely timid, would you say, this first quarter of an hour?
It's failed to get going, really, hasn't it, as a spectacle so far. Hopefully we'll see a bit more as it progresses, but it's certainly a very cagey affair.
And do you think that's mainly just because of where the teams sit in the table, 9th and 10th? This is a real chance for both sides to make something and get 3 points.
Well, I mean, if both sides haven't really played in a month as well, that's certainly going to make an impact. Both sides are not at full sharpness, but
absolutely. As here is Isles.
I think he went out of play anyway. But yeah, both sides not in a main run of fixtures, not at their peak, as you'd say. But I'm sure as the game goes on, I mean, put it this way, as the game gets into the later stages, there'll be tired minds, tired bodies. I think it'll be that key moment for around just at the start of the second half to around 65 minutes in. That's where you'd probably say the peak of the game.
Well, we shall see. We've only had 18 on the watch here at Sandygate. Quite cagey, as the chaps were mentioning. Full commentary here of Hallam against Handsworth on Football Forum Live. Don't forget, we react to every single Sheffield United and Wednesday game on each individual show, as this is a chance for Dunn. Dunn, is he onside here? I think he is, taking it to the byline, looking for options. He's going to try and take it on himself. He still has it! And it's a corner ball. And you feel possibly that, do we reckon Dunn could have done much more there?
Well, he was fortunate to get through in the first place. He looked like he might have done too much, but he still managed to somehow get to the ball just before it went over the line, to get that ball back across, and it somehow kept out brilliantly by DJ Alamo, managing to put over his own crossbar there from, must have been 3 yards out at most. So he's done very well to stop himself from putting the ball in the back of his own net.
And Nico de Girolamo, obviously the brother of Diego de Girolamo, currently playing his trade at Buxton, formerly of Sheffield United, and I think he played at Chesterfield, if I'm right in saying.
I think you are correct, Hatters, yeah.
And do you think that hopefully some of his skill will rub off on his brother?
Well, I mean, 2 different positions, centre half, but he must have some footballing genes in the family.
Of course. Ball's played in here, and that's an audacious attempt.
That's 2 balls lost in a matter of a minute.
Straight onto the road behind. Shed End not bothered about that one. So 19 gone here. And one thing we forgot to mention, obviously, a rare start this afternoon, George, for Daniel Padil, obviously formerly of Sheffield Wednesday, the marquee signing for Hallam back in the summer. What do you think he can bring to a game like this, the number 17 there?
Well, having only more or less recently quit professional football, you'd expect a bit more quality, but he hasn't really got into the game, has he? No. So, you know, he was a very key element in Carlos Carvel's Wednesday sides a few years ago, so he should do well.
Oh, some fantastic skill there from Haworth. Top scorer of Handsworth, and this is a chance for Morgan James. Elliot Walker here. Too far in the end, and he will go out for a Hallam goal kick. What were you saying, George?
No, I was just saying, obviously Pudil was a very big element to a good Sheffield Wednesday side. Maybe I think it must be 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah,
we're talking, but he was in the side obviously that got to Wembley against Hull, and that's, again, it's not a long time ago, and he's obviously not at his peak anymore, and the cameras fell down on the other side of the pitch.
Oh my goodness me, that is quite funny there. Hallam, I think it's their 360 camera that they use to get pictures from the other side. Don't worry about watching the pictures, you should be listening to us and listen back to our coverage here of Handsworth against Hallam. He thinks it's okay. One of the advertising hoardings has fallen down as well. You can tell the wind is picking up a bit, and as a result of that, let's hand over to my co-commentator who will take you through towards half-time, Callum Cheswick.
Yeah, cheers, Hadders, as Warhurst there knocks long into this Sheffield afternoon out on that right-hand side. It's Ruthven, he looks to playing down that right-hand touchline, but it's gone out of play for a Handsworth throw out on that far side, so number 3 for them. Henry Carney's going to take that one for the visitors, who are in their all-red strip with a hint of white on it. Throws in field now towards James, but he loses out, and Hallam will look to break through Bradbury out on this left-hand side with Williams. Can he manage to keep it in? Yes, he can. He's up 1-on-1 against Elliot Walker on this left-hand touchline. Looks to go on the outside of him, and does, towards the byline. It comes off Walker, last Hallam corner. And a chance for Hallam to throw bodies forward into the box. But it's that transition there so quickly for Hallam from, just from that middle of the pitch out towards that left-hand side. It's really the first opportunity that Tyler Williams has had to get 1-on-1 with his man at full-back, as Brownhill has so often done this afternoon on that right-hand side, on the opposite side. So, ball in from Hallam, it's a poor ball in, it's gone under the foot of Daniel Pudil, came off of Leon Harworth though, and it's going to be another Hallam corner from the left-hand side. It'll be an in-swinger. Ball in again, it's another low one, it's under Pudil, and it's hooked clear further away now by Mitch Dunn, but it's out for another Hallam throw just inside the Handsworth half. Pretty much bang in front of us here. So it's going to be another Hallam throw, but a couple of poor corners there when you've got a couple of, well, I say a couple, there's more than a few big lads in this Hallam side, and failing to beat the first man on both occasions there, that's not what you really want to see. So ball goes long and it's flicked on. It's a chance here for Hallam. It's out on that right hand side. Oh, it's a challenge in the area. The referee waves away, nothing given, and the Handsworth just clear up the top of the pitch now, but it was Brett Agnew managed to drop it off. Oh, there's a chance here for Handsworth. Can he send Harworth in? Oh, it's a poor ball across the face of goal by the number 7 Morgan James. It's still got to be kept alive by the visitors as it's a ball in by Dunn, and Warhurst Hallam with a very, very lucky escape as...
You're used to commentating on the under-21s a lot, aren't you?
I'm going to say, quite conveniently similarly named, the two goalkeepers there, as Handsworth give back to the goalkeeper.
There's a cracking tackle on the edge box there from the Handsworth player.
Let's see, it's good chasing down there by Blakely, but Handsworth do well enough to play out their own third. It's not long now by Elliot Walker, looking for Dunn. Dunn looks to play the little flick on, but Di Girolamo goes home to Warhurst. But yeah, if you're Handsworth there, you've surely got to be looking at a big opportunity missed, you would have thought, gents.
Yeah, it's a misplaced pass that, and it's just, it now takes the pressure right off Hallam when they look like they were going to concede that.
Good driving from Walker from right back. It's now with Joe Parkin pretty much left of centre as Brownell does well to win it back for the home side. Looking to progress in towards the Handsworth half, but he cuts it back to Ruthin. But Elliot Walker gets in the way of that to win it back for Handsworth, and Pewdill, it's a lovely controlled pass out to his left wing back, and now Tyler Williams can try and play it in from deep. It's going to go out to the right wing back with Hallam Brownell. It's now with Bradbury. Looks to try and dink it over the top of that Handsworth back line. It's calmly dealt with there by Jonathan Williams under the pressure of Brownhill. And Handsworth give the ball straight back to Hallam, and they look to play long, and it's a good flick in the air by Brett Agnew, but it's been hooked away by Walker of Handsworth. But it's another win in the air by Pewdill. Williams up towards Watson, and Williams will look to strike, but it's blocked there by Walker. Number 9 for Handsworth, Haworth drops it off, and Hugo Warhurst does well just to come and meet that and put it out for a throw-in on this near side.
I'm thankful that was nowhere near as powerful as I was expecting coming in our direction.
You must know there's not too many balls left to play with, so can't put his foot too much fully through it. But, Handsworth with the throw. It's a little flick round the corner by Morgan James, which was flagged for offside initially, but it's going to be a goal kick instead. So it's Warhurst over this goal kick. 27 minutes gone. It's still Hallam 0, Handsworth 0. You listen to Sheffield Football Forum. Warhurst with a long goal kick. It's flicked on by Ruthin and brought down by Agnew, looking to send through Kieran Watson, but it's been hooked away by the Handsworth skipper McFadden. Haworth, one-on-one with Pewdill, cuts inside. He's got Henry Kahn making the overlap on the left-hand side. He's looking to drop it into Eels. It's now with Henry Kahn, the Handsworth left back. Eels has it back. One-on-one with Chris Sol, puts it in. Well, Haworth manages to get the contact on the overhead kick, but he was in an offside position before, but he's done well to even get a little touch on that, to be honest with you. Never mind as decent a contact as he did.
And at least he's been kept in the ground this time.
Oh no, it is because
he's gone.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think that one went through the netting. So it's going to be a free kick for offside. Warhurst just finding a half decent bit of grass on a quite misstritten Hallam pitch. Sorry. It's up towards Williams, looks to drop it off. Handsworth dispossessed though and looks to play long, but it's headed well by Salt, picked up by Brownell. In the centre circle, up towards Ruthin, out towards the right hand side, it's with Blakely. Kieran Watson does well to drop it off to Blakely again of Hallam. On that far side, pretty much halfway inside the Handsworth half, go back to Salt. Looks to try and switch the play to the Hallam left wing back Williams, but it's been cut out there by Walker. It's a decent looking ball by McFadden. And that's very well dealt with by Di Girolamo under pressure from Horace, but it's going to be a Handsworth throw pretty much right in front of us on this right hand side. Pewdill dispossesses Harworth, but it's been given away by Bradbury of Hallam. Up towards Harworth, looks to drop it off for the oncoming Dunn, but it's been won back there by Blakely. Up towards Agnew, brings it down on the chest, but he can't stay in front of McFadden, so it's going to be a Hallam throw pretty much bang on halfway. Half an hour in, gents. Who do you think has been a better side in this one, really?
I'll be honest with you, it's been quite a cagey affair, has it not? Although I would say Hallam looked to have grown in the game more.
And there was an opportunity for Hallam. It's still not cleared by Handsworth, but that's excellently dealt with there by Alfie Smith. He was under pressure there from Kieran Watson after the block shot from Scott Rutham about 25 yards out centre of the pitch.
He was indeed, and a very good effort from Hallam. As I say, Hallam have rather grown into this game more as the first half's gone on. I think Handsworth Worthy came out the blocks a bit better, but since then Hallam have grown more to the game.
And it's Handsworth looking to play long now. It's the flick from Salt. Can't do anything more other than concede a corner for Handsworth. And with this pitch slightly uphill or downhill, depending on how you're looking at it, Hallam pretty much always seemingly attack uphill in the second half. Gents, would you say that's a decent thing to do, or?
I think they always say that they like to go towards the shed end in the second half. That may be because if they get a goal, they've scored it in front of their own fans. Obviously, shooting down is actually harder than it looks, really. Or that might have just been my Sunday League team, but you know, so it's unusual, isn't it, at this level?
At this kind of level, yes, as it's a ball in from that left-hand side all the way through, and back out again for a Hallam goal kick. So 32 minutes in this one, still goalless.
I think that's too much wind assist on that one.
So it's Warhurst over this one for the goal kick. I'm sure we'll be looking for Agnew, but you can really see that wind into play. It's barely reached over halfway in his own half, that one from Warhurst. As it's out with the right hand side now with Brownhill. He's got Williams up ahead, but he's now played it to Watson on the right hand side. Watson from the right hand side looks to play it in. It's over the goalkeeper Zielinski and all the way through to Williams on this left hand side now. 1-on-1 with Walker. Looks to play it in. It's been touched by the Handsworth centre half Alfie Smith, and it's that offside. No, it's not on the line, so he keeps his flag down as it's out on that left hand side with James Ells. He's 1-on-1 with Salt coming in from the left hand side. He's got two in there to aim for. He's forced a save from Warhurst, and never really seemed too difficult for the goalkeeper to deal with, but that's what Handsworth could certainly threaten with.
Good decision that, though, from the assistant. It was nowhere near offside, but Hallam tried to do the offside trap, but did it far too late.
Yeah, well, for any golfers watching or listening this, Warhurst certainly needs to try and keep it under wind, because every time he's gone high it's really held up and really struggled to get any kind of distance on it. And I know playing short and out from the back isn't really the style in this kind of division, but he's pretty much losing possession every time, and that time it's gone out of play on that far side for a throw-in pretty much bang on halfway. So it's going to be a Handsworth throw on that far side.
Missing the old golf course here.
I mean, we know we've said it's rammed out here. You should see the state of the bar. The bar's about 6 people deep. Like people waiting for drink.
Not long over towards in behind that Handsworth back line. It's dealt with well by Alfie Smith, but he can only put into touch pretty much level with the edge of his own 18-yard box. So another opportunity for Hallam to throw bodies forward here, and Brownell takes it quickly, looks to play the give and go off of Ruthin. Brownell with the ball in, and it's behind everybody, but Williams will go and keep possession for Hallam. One-on-one with Walker again, looks to go on the outside of him. Can he get to the byline and cut back? Yes, he can, but it's dealt with well there by Jonathan Williams, and now Handsworth will look to break again, but Harworth just drops it back off to the right back, Williams. Onside again with Ailes. Into Dunn. Dunn gives it back to Els. That's a fantastic challenge there by Bradbury, and he looks to play up towards Watson. It's a decent looking pass there as well. Oh, and it's been brilliantly dealt with there by Walker, who somehow kept it under the pressure of the left wing back Williams, and out towards that right hand side with Brownell. Looks to play it over the top for Agnew. Agnew is one-on-one with Smith, looks to play the cutback, but Smith does brilliantly well there for Handsworth, and it's out for a throw-in on that far side again.
They certainly look like they're sitting back, Handsworth, don't they? They look like they're sitting back trying to break. That looks like the tactic for them. They're letting Hallam come at them and winning it back well. I don't know, they've looked alright both sides.
Well, the two main opportunities for Handsworth have come through counter-attacks, so I'm sure they'll be looking to maintain that throughout this game, but it's been knocked out of play there by Scott Ruthin. Looks to go on the outside of the left back Henry Kahn, and out for a goal kick.
I think Hallam have to be careful in the second half, because what I've noticed from watching Handsworth against Hallam earlier on this season, that Handsworth tend to come with the sucker punch midway through the second half, so they will have to care. I think the problem with Handsworth in the sense that they're letting Hallam come at them, as you were saying, George, and that's primarily because sort of tucking them out a bit, and then when it gets to sort of the hour mark later on, hit them with a couple of goals, and that's game over.
Williams with the interception from the goal kick. Agnew's going to get there first. Can he hold off his man? Yes, he can. He's on the edge of the 18-yard box. Looks to set it to Williams on the overlap, but the referee's going to pull this back for a foul on Agnew. A little pull pretty much on the edge of the 18, so it's going to be a decent area for Hallam to have a free kick, pretty much centre in line with a goal as well. I think it was Alfie Smith of Handsworth pulling back Agnew there. So a decent opportunity. You might say it's a little bit too close to try and get it up and over the wall. But,
do well to score from here.
Well, seen stranger things, as it's Brownhill, Ruthin, and not sure who the other one. I think it's Pewdill all over this.
What did you make of it? Stranger Things.
Never seen it, mate.
Join the club.
It's a fantastic programme.
Is that running up that hill song?
That is the.
I know that.
Can't get it out of my head.
So, yep, Brownhill goes away. So it's just Pewdill and Ruthin over this, around 20 yards out, centre of the goal. Hallam with a free kick. It's Ruthin to take, and it's over the bar and into someone's garden, I think, and it's out for a Handsworth goal kick.
Ex-professional goal player Daniel Padil from that far out. I didn't realise he was stood over the ball. Why on earth would he not take that free kick? That is unbelievable.
I suppose they have their number one free kick taker.
Yeah, but other one's Daniel Padil.
And?
Chris MD or Daniel Padil over a free kick. There you go. So just over 38 minutes gone in this one here at Sandygate. It's still goalless between Hallam and Handsworth. Hallam their best chance coming through, hitting the bar around 10 minutes in from a ball in from the right hand side, and Handsworth, they've certainly had a couple of opportunities on the break. And it's with Handsworth now in the middle of the park. Well dealt with there by Jonathan Williams. Drops it off to Alfie Smith. He looks to play the diagonal ball over the Hallam right back, but far too much on that. And out for a goal kick.
I delivered them all. Mrs. Sutton's looks exactly the same.
I think Handsworth are trying more of a Route 1 approach in this first half, and I'll be honest, I don't think it's paying off too much.
Well, I think it's both a blessing and a curse to have the wind with you. If you're trying it from anything over halfway, you're going to struggle to keep the ball before the goalkeeper gets it. Try it any deeper, and the Hallam back line have dealt with it so far. It's a ball over the top, and it did look like Watson was offside, and the lino on that far side agrees with me as well, so it's going to be a Handsworth free kick. Not being too many stoppages, so shouldn't be too much added time, if any, at the end of this first 45. Try and find out the attendance figures for you at some point this afternoon as well, as it's Sandygate with a long ball. It's lost in the air by Dunn, and Agnew looks to flick it on to Williams, but it's in the middle of the park. Uncontested there is Smith, but he's been won back, and Harworth now drops it into Mitchell Dunn. Looks to send through in behind. Chance here for Handsworth, and it's brilliantly dealt with by Hugo Warhurst. Got there first ahead of James Ells, and now Hallam looks to break. It's Agnew looks to clip Williams in behind there. Just going back to that Handsworth chance before. It's a lovely ball in behind there by Mitch Dunn, and Ells just couldn't get there ahead of Hugo Warhurst. If he had, it surely would have been 1-0 Handsworth, as Agnew goes down under the pressure of Joe Parkin of Handsworth, and it's going to be a Hallam free kick. Not really much more Handsworth could have done there.
Trouble at Mill.
We wish we had dugout cam.
We have one game now. We have to play the same team every time. One played last time. They were great.
So it's the striker Scott Ruthin over this one, and 15 yards inside inside the Hallam half, looking for Agnew, but it's been lost by him, and now Handsworth looking to break again. Warhurst with a good early position, being brought down by Dunn, and he travels into the Handsworth half, looking to play the switch ball out to Harworth. Claims of handball by the Handsworth contingent, and my God, look at the wind go there. He's travelling backwards in towards the shed end, and Harworth now looks to skip inside away from Ruthin. Two up to his left, and he looks to strike from distance. It's way over Warhurst bar, and out for a for a Hallam goal kick.
With how strong this wind is, do you reckon he only tapped that shot? Like tapping B on FIFA.
Time finishing straight over the bar.
This wind is ridiculous, by the way. I've not seen it like this before.
I think it's probably the first time I've ever seen a ball go backwards in the air. So I wonder if Warhurst will keep it low, a little bit lower, and it's managed to somehow reach the Handsworth half as Agnew. A little bit of miscommunication with Ruthin. As Agnew loses out. Pewdle with wins a 50-50 against Joe Parkin, so it's going to be a Hallam throw.
No love lost there.
And the referee having a talking to there with Jonathan Williams. I think they just had a little bit of coming together there, him and the referee. Referee just having a wave of the hand.
So it probably was a foul there, Callum.
So it's a long throw in, and it's Bradbury now. Wants to try and get there first ahead of Smith, but he could only look to try and disrupt the clearance. And that's a brilliant little touch there by Adam Blakely to just stop Mitch Dunn from getting a clean contact in a breakaway for Handsworth. Poor pass by Dunn. The Salt looks to clear. It's been knocked further by Brownhill. Down that right hand side by Ruthin. It's been knocked out of play by Henry Khan. And it's going to be a Hallam throw on that far side, 44 minutes in. Brownhill with the throw. Up towards Ruthy. It's a lovely little reverse pass down to the right hand side. It's a lovely little cutback as well. Watson looks to pull the trigger. It's stopped in his tracks well there by Morgan James. Still not cleared out. Brownhill, he's done brilliantly well to get past his man next to the bar. Looks to play the pullback. Agnew, first shot skewed. Second shot blocked off the line. And that's Hallam's best chance of the game. Somehow cleared away by Handsworth, and they look to break. And Mitch Judd looked to send Harworth through. It's been dealt with well by Nico Di Girolamo. And just as we're about to end the half, Hallam will surely feel that they should be ahead. And as it's with Bradbury now. And it's out over on that far side, so there's only a minute or so left. I'll pass you back to Hadders to take you through to the referee's whistle for half time.
Thank you, Callum. Yeah, 0-0 here at Sandygate, 45 on the watch. We're approaching the half-time whistle. Can't imagine there'll be too much of added time, as you mentioned earlier on, Callum. Handsworth with the throw there. And we thought the wind was bad at the start of the game. It's got even worse as the half's gone on.
It's affecting the game a little bit as well, so, you know, it's let's hope it dies down in the second half, maybe.
Well, maybe Hallam have picked that to their advantage, given the fact that they're playing uphill in the second half. The wind is blowing uphill.
I'm going to say those Warhurst kicks should be reaching the Handsworth box at that point.
We will have to see. We'll do our best to bring you up to date with how Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday have gone on at half time, if we can hear ourselves over the public address system, of which I'm pretty sure we can't, as my word, what an effort from all of best part of 25 to 30 yards, and made no mark on the goal.
I think the second half can't be much worse, so hopefully we're going to be in for some more action in the second half.
What did you just say?
I think we should be in for some more action in the second half, you would hope, wouldn't you?
I still didn't hear what you said the first time round.
I was coughing to be honest.
Ah, fair enough. Slight injury then for one of the Handsworth men. Will be a goal kick, and as the referee calls half time there, Hallam FC 0, Handsworth FC 0. As we get taken over by the public address system there. So bit of a cagey affair. Hallam with some opening chances and good efforts towards the end of the half. Handsworth halfway between the middle of the game, and that was their strong suit as we end the first half. Your thoughts, Callum?
Yeah, well, as George mentioned earlier on, I thought Handsworth did start the better of the two, and I think Hallam certainly did go into the game and obviously had the best chance just before half time. Handsworth certainly do look threatening on the break, and that will only serve hardest to deal with for Hallam as they have to deal with Handsworth coming downhill at them in the second half. But I'm sure there'll be more chances for both teams. I don't see this game ending up goalless come full time either.
I can't imagine so. And coming to George very quickly, your thoughts on that first half? Your thoughts on that first half, George?
Yeah, he hasn't been too bad. Joseph, obviously I mentioned that there hasn't been much to talk about. There's it was very clearly defence against attack, I would say, from a neutral's perspective. I think Handsworth have clearly come with a game plan. They're executing it well so far. But I do think Hallam will get more chances in the second half, and shooting up towards the shed end. I think we could be in for some goals. Well, we hope, you know.
So indeed.
We're itching.
We're waiting for a goal. But we can say, at half-time here, it is Hallam 0, Handsworth 0. Chappers has got the local roundup now.
Have I got my bed?
Yeah, you have.
Nobody Nobody knows what a bed is.
Nobody knows what a bed
Apart
is.
from the ones that you sleep on.
I'm taking. Yeah.
There you go.
You're home for United on Wednesday.
The game that we've created the least in is the game that we score 3 in.
I don't know how we didn't go in more than 1-0 down.
With the biggest guest.
Oh, morning, mate. You alright?
Hello there.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you for coming in, Rob.
Cheers, guys.
Joseph Hadfield.
You know why I didn't bring my jelly babies after last time.
Josh Chapman.
We had no right to be anywhere near those playoffs.
Connor Thorpe.
Still trying to come to terms with what I witnessed.
I don't believe it. He's
No.
got it.
Is it?
Spot on. It is.
Get
Huddersfield
Before
Town.
I even had a chance.
Even Sheffield Wednesday have scored
There was
penalties.
a point where we were only scoring.
This is Football Forum.
Thursdays from 7 o'clock. Yes, Football Forum back. At some point, we should say, in the near future. It is half-time here at Sandygate. It is Hallam 0, Handsworth 0. You're listening to Football Forum live here on Spotify. And thank you very much indeed for your company. As Ches looks for his notes, he's feeling a bit under the weather this afternoon, so I'll keep you up to date. While we're waiting, we were planning to do a bit of a podcast for this episode, doing it before the game. That has not been able to do that, but we will continue nonetheless.
Good afternoon again, everyone.
And unfortunately, as I get taken over by the public address system once more, while we wait, let's just bring you up to date with the local results from this weekend, since we were last with you anyway. So West Brom 3, Rotherham United 0 last Saturday, and then yesterday on Boxing Day, Rotherham 2, Stoke City 2. So Rotherham currently 19th in the Championship, 2 points above the bottom 3. League One and Barnsley 2, Burton 0. 2 goals from Devante Cole back on the 17th of December, and a 1-1 draw away at Accrington Stanley. James Norwood opening the scoring before Tommy Lee scoring from the spot. 1-1 there. Barnsley 4th in League One, 3 points inside the playoffs. Doncaster Rovers, their game against Harrogate Town was postponed before Christmas, going 3-0 down away at Tranmere Rovers yesterday. 13th in League Two, although that might have changed given some games going on today. They're 4 points off the playoffs. And Chesterfield, well, they've not played for a while. Their FA Trophy third round game against Colville Town, that was postponed, but they played it on the Tuesday night and postponed the Woking League game instead, losing 3-1 at home to lower league opposition in Colville Town. Much changed Chesterfield side there. But they were victorious back in the National League yesterday. 2-1 victory away at Scunthorpe United. Caelan Lavery opening the scoring for the home side. Joe Quigley, a brace from him either side of half-time, settling the points for the Spireites. So Chesterfield third in the National League, 9 points off Notts County at the top of the table, but they are 3 ahead of Woking in fourth. And as we mentioned, Hallam, their game against Thackley a couple of weeks ago, that was postponed. But they are playing this afternoon, as you've heard. First half commentary with us. Second half is on the way. Rotherham will be at Huddersfield Town on Thursday night. Barnsley welcome Fleetwood, and Doncaster Rovers are at home to Rochdale. While we are waiting for George to return, let's have a chat, Ches, about Sheffield United. I know we're going to struggle with the noise, but we'll do our very best. So 2 games for United recently. That 2-1 victory away at Wigan. Colo Torre, his first home game in charge. Egan and Billy Sharp on the score sheet there. And then yesterday, mainly what we're going to touch on, a 3-1 victory at home to Coventry City. You were there. A lot of fisticuffs. John Egan getting himself sent off. Goals from McAtee, Clark and Doyle. Victor Yokeres, he had a penalty saved, but he scored one later on. What did you make of it?
Yeah, well, United didn't start well at all. Coventry were much a better side in the first 15-20 minutes. United did start to grow into the game more as it went on, especially in that first half. And but Coventry, they did look solid, they did look strong in possession. Certainly opened up United a couple of times. And if it wasn't for that challenge by Ahmed Hodzic on Guy Carez, it could certainly have been 1-0 to Coventry at some point in the first half before United got that goal from that brilliant breakaway. And Jai just showing his quality and his skill once again. And McAtee, Paul Eckingbottom said that he's been able to work with him a lot more one-to-one time over the World Cup break. And he's sort of the first 3 games back from coming back from that international breaks, and he certainly looks to grow in confidence, and just in terms of the play and the ability he's showing, and he got the goal to deserve those rewards. And as the second half went on, I thought United, after the penalty, again I thought Coventry started well at the beginning of the second half, but that penalty save from Wes Fodringham, that's the last 6 penalties at that Bramall Lane, and all we missed for those stats fans out there. So but yeah, I think that gave a lot of life to the supporters and the players, and then just 5 minutes after the penalty, United go and make it 2, and I think that really killed any kind of real hope that Coventry could go and take all 3 points away from Bramall Lane, and United just managed it well from there, even with the red card.
Exactly, and as the wind blows an absolute gale here so far, what we have to mention, and we've not had a chance to mention, in fact, since this news came out recently, takeover at Sheffield United. Obviously, Prince Abdullah wanting to sell up the club. Prospective owners, apparently it's being kept behind closed doors, no information really about it. And the main focus is for it to go to the EFL, for them to have a look at it. And what do you think will be the best situation? Do you think it's right for Prince Abdullah to go, and how much do you think it might, or it probably shouldn't affect Paul Heckingbottom and his players' plans?
I think if you're looking at it from Abdullah's point of view, if United get promoted, there's obviously a lot of financial benefits, but there's also the costs that come with being in the Premier League in terms of having to recruit, and that's something that United definitely will have to do should they get into the Premier League next season. Now, from what I know myself, there's still a fair way to go on this deal. There's still some I's to be dotted and some T's to be crossed. So in terms of looking at that from should it be a distraction? No, I don't think it should in reality, but you never know with an increase in potential spending in the summer. I don't think Heckingbottom is the kind of manager to have one eye on what he can do. His first thought will be, let's get over the line, and that's what he made abundantly clear in his post-match press conference that was at yesterday. So I don't think it should be too much of a distraction, no, and I don't think it's as close to be done as some people think, but I'm sure it'll be. I'm sure it is an exciting time for Blades fans to get behind.
Now we are going to touch on Sheffield United's game at Blackpool. We'll do that. If we can't get it in the half-time period, we'll try and do our best at full time. We're going to come to George though. Let's have a chat about Sheffield Wednesday, George, and obviously a 0-0 draw at Oxford back before Christmas. 2-1 victory away at Fleetwood Town yesterday. Sean Rooney going from hero to zero in the space of about 70 minutes with a ludicrous... I can't even understand what was going through his mind when he got his reaction. He'd been sent off, and his reaction was apoplectic. But goals from George Byers and Marvin Johnson, a frankly brilliant goal from Marvin Johnson. The victory there. And well, let's be fair now. We talk about how Sheffield Wednesday have been on a 3-game drawing streak, but they're unbeaten since the start of October. That's 11-game unbeaten run now, and you've only lost 3 in your last 23. What did you make of yesterday's game at Fleetwood?
Yeah, it's a good win. It's certainly a game against, like, obviously a team like Fleetwood, very small ground, obviously much astronomically smaller team than Wednesday. They'd have looked at that game licking their lips, you know. Wednesday coming to their ground, yes, we're not that good, but yes, we are a big club for the league. Sell-out crowd for them. It was one of them games that you could look at and it's a banana skin almost. Yes, you should be beating them if you're Wednesday, but it could have been a game quite easily that would have gone on and drawn, and then that would have made it about 4 draws in the last I don't know how many games. But yeah, it's a great win. Obviously, it's good to see Marvin Johnson get a goal. He's certainly been a consistent performer for Wednesday, I would say. George Byers is a great asset to have back from injury because it's almost like it's a new signing. He's he's just a good midfielder for the league. He could cut it in the Championship and has with Swansea. And I don't know, it's certainly nice to have him back. And as you were saying, obviously 11 games unbeaten, 3 losses in 23. Yes, that's good. But Adders, if you went unbeaten all season, you could still go down.
Exactly, yeah.
I think remaining unbeaten is a good thing in itself, but I also think we've got to be picking up more wins in games that we should be winning.
Exactly,
and not drawing. And yes, it's great to say, 11 games unbeaten, but truth is, we've got to be winning games more, and it'd be better to have a winning run.
Well, we shall focus on Sheffield United, and in fact, no, they are still talking about something else, so we will continue on Sheffield Wednesday very briefly. And 100 games in charge of Sheffield Wednesday now for Darren Moore. What would you make to his tenure within the last 100 games?
1 relegation, 1 failed playoff campaign.
And that's it summed up in a nutshell?
No, it's... listen, Darren Moore, he came into the club at a time where we were absolutely in need. It was just an awful first season for him. Yes, he only got the last few games of it. Last season we should have done better than we did. We didn't. But I don't know. I certainly think he's got to go up this season if he wants to remain as Wednesday's manager. If we don't get promotion this season, it's curtains for Darren. And as much as I like him as a bloke, he's not convinced me yet. Let's say that.
Still not, and 100 games in, he's not convinced you fully.
I think once he gets promotion, that has to be the benchmark for him. Listen, he took us down in that first year technically because he was at the manager's job when we went down. Yes, it's quite harsh on him given the fact that he did come in when we were in a massive slump, having had Tony Pulis managers, been with our caretaker manager for 3 months. He came into the side when it were in AWOL. I don't know if AWOL's the right word to use, but it weren't good. And you've just got to. I think you've got to give him a bit more time. But equally, I would understand. Say if it was in the news tomorrow that Darren Moore was sacked as Wednesday's manager, it wouldn't come as a shock to me. But that's because of the nature of the job.
We shall see how Sheffield Wednesday go on. Obviously, Port Vale is the next game for them. That's on Thursday night. We will touch on that later on in the programme. Some final... And perfect timing that is. Hallam and Handsworth, the players, rejoining the field for the second half. Before we do resume the action, a quick word from you both on that first half. What do Hallam and Handsworth need to do in the second half to ensure that they taste victory? George, first of all.
Well, what I want to see from both sides is more than what I saw in that first half, Adders. I want to see some action. I want to see some goals. That's all I'm going to say. I'm here for the excitement.
You're here for the goals,
I'm cold and I want to cheer.
we shall see. Callum, obviously, Hallam and Handsworth, they're bitter rivals in this division and quite cagey that first half. What do you want to see in the second?
Yeah, well, I think if you're Hallam, there's been too much of the play in front of the Handsworth defence, so you want to try and get him behind him a little bit more, get that defence turned round and get him running towards their own goal. If you're Handsworth, it's I suppose it's a little bit more of the same, but with a bit more regularity in terms of breaking on the front foot a little bit more quickly. They've looked threatening on the counter on more than one occasion of Handsworth, but they've just not done it enough times. I suppose with the luxury of having Hallam play in front of them, it's been easy to defend against. If Hallam do look to try and pin Handsworth back and look to play over the top of them, it'll make those breaks harder, but it'll make them more effective as well.
Shall we do it then?
Might as well.
Second half incoming here at Sandygate. Hallam against Handsworth, 0-0 at half time. Second half underway. Hallam in this second half playing from left to right. Hallam playing uphill towards the shed end. Handsworth in their change strip of all red this evening. They're playing downhill towards the cricket netting. I think that's the correct term. Could be wrong. No idea.
It'll do.
It'll do this afternoon. Hallam, as we know, playing in all blue. Their traditional blue shirts, shorts and socks. And all I can smell around this ground now is Bovril and pie. And that's a wonderful smell.
I would adore a Bovril right now.
I mean, you've had 15 minutes.
Look at the size of the queue though, Callum.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been back until I were meant to commentate again, really.
Well, I mean, you can go now if you so wish.
No, I don't think I'll be able to get out, to be honest.
I've got a secret stash of Bovril anyway, so wait until 5 o'clock. So Football Forum live here at Sandygate. Hallam 0, Handsworth 0. Here's Mitch Dunn. He's had some good chances in that first half, as I need to readjust with knowing who I did know in that first half, and now I've got to try and do it the opposite way around. You can tell I don't commentate much. The good thing is the team sheet is now the right way round, which is helpful. Williams upfield. Here's Daniel Puddill. First time we've mentioned his name this afternoon. He's had rather a quiet game, would you say, so far, for someone of his calibre?
Yeah, I would. Hang on.
Chance here for Hallam. It's a good effort. The referee says nothing of that and plays on. Handsworth with the attack. On halfway here. He's got a look at you, George. The number 10 Mitch Dunn. Similar look of you, shall we say?
Yeah, he's just thinner and more athletic than me.
Not a better footballer though, is he?
Absolutely not. They should get me on, that's the thing.
Is that what they're missing?
Absolutely.
The thoughts of George Barber there, our Sheffield Wednesday expert this afternoon. And part-time referee, is that fair to say?
Having sort of a season off this season.
So referee and expert?
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't even go as far as Sheffield Wednesday expert.
Well, you know more about Sheffield Wednesday than I do, and I present the programme. Handsworth with the ball down towards the byline. Good chance here for Mitch Dunn, or as we shall refer to him for the entirety of the second half, the George Barber lookalike. James over to the far side. Here is Smith. I do beg your pardon, that is Joe Parkin, the number 8. Ruthven. Out to Brownell on this near side. He's advancing, good skill. Took a man too many on there. And Jonathan Williams will play the ball away for Handsworth. In the middle of the park, here is Parkin. James back to Jonathan Williams. Should be aware there is a Williams on either side. Tyler Williams, the left wing back for Hallam in the number 3 shirt. Jonathan Williams, the number 4 for Handsworth. And here is Mitch Dunn on this far side, looking to play the ball across. Good effort. Can Handsworth finish? They've got a chance. Great save from Hugo Warhurst, the Hallam captain there. Ball still not cleared as Handsworth get it back in. And here is Brownell. And a clear shove in the back, it seems.
Fantastic save there from Hugo Warhurst.
That was absolutely brilliant save. It was indeed, and you think that could have easily been 1-0 Handsworth straight away there?
Absolutely, yeah, and that would have been a cracking start for them as well. Shooting downhill with wind against them, I think it is in this half. So it's a brilliant start.
As Ches has forgot to start his stopwatch early.
I'm hoping you weren't noticing that.
Don't worry, I'm not even working with a stopwatch, so... Although to be fair, I think they only did play about 43 minutes in the first half anyway.
45, bang on.
Did they?
Yeah.
Beg to differ. Warhurst with the ball downfield. This is a good chance if Hallam can do anything with it. It's out as far as Tyler Williams, the number 3 for Hallam. And he will get the throw on that far side. The sun's gone down long ago, the floodlights shining brightly on the Sandygate pitch here.
I wish the lights were heaters. That'd be lovely.
Wish they were to be fair, I think that's the one thing they're needing, heated seats here. Or maybe just some gloves.
You don't even have them at Tottenham. Well, not in the press box anyway, they've been.
I think the correct response to that is ooh la la.
I'm going to say, I mean, I suppose they've got chefs at Tottenham, rather. They've got chefs here. However, I think the types of food that they're cooking is slightly different than the ones at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Can't knock the chips in the first half before the game though.
There you go. Then.
The fuel I needed, and a Bovril. Can't go wrong. And I don't believe it, but the ball once again spiralling back on itself. It tells you how windy it is. I don't know if you can hear it. You can definitely hear it. Goodness me. It's blowing an absolute gale. Brett Agnew, I should say, offside there for Hallam. So it will be Handsworth free kick. And it seems to me that this second half has been just as, if not a bit more cagey than the start of the first half was.
It has, and I do get the impression that the teams might be trying to feel each other out here. I don't know why, because they should have done 45 minutes of that in first half, but I don't know, it's failing to get going really.
You said you wanted goals, George, and at the moment they're not proving any, but here is a chance for Morgan James! Good save from Hugo Warhurst as he plays the ball out here towards Brownell on this near side. That's an audacious attempt. But Hallam still have the ball. Here is Ruthven. But it's just a wrong pass, and Elliot Walker can play this down. Here's Haworth.
I think it was the right pass, to be honest, Haworth, but I just don't think he executed it well enough, if I'm being very honest.
Regards of not. Is this offside? Yes, it is indeed. Isles offside there. He's struggling to believe that it actually was offside, and there is potentially a case you could argue that it was onside. Let's go to our refereeing expert. What would you say on that?
I would say my initial thought was onside, but the line out, who's probably in a better position than me, might have seen something that I didn't. So, you know,
always agreeing with the referees.
I'm going to agree with the refereeing decision.
I was going to say that.
My Peter Walton.
Well, I was going to say that wasn't what you were saying about an hour before we went on air, but that's by the by. Handsworth with the ball here. 10 gone in this second half. Unless I'm mistaken. Here is Kieran Watson on this far side. This is a chance for Hallam, best that they've had of this half so far. Watson still with the ball. He's looking to play it off towards Bradbury. James. Hallam regain possession. It's back to Warhurst. Just checking, when did we kick off for the second half? I feel it's a rather amateur question to be asking.
I reckon we're about 8 minutes in.
8 minutes in. So we kicked off at 03. Lovely. Right. Only the most professional service here from Football Forum this afternoon. Here's Isles. Another call of offside by the linesman on the far side. And it seems like since we were having this conversation just a few moments ago about Handsworth, in the sense that it was quite cagey, they've really opened up, and in fact Hallam have been creating some good chances. I think they've got towards that sort of 60-minute stage now, and they're thinking, right, we need to sort of apply the gas.
Let's go for the jugular. That's what they do need to do. I think Hallam have been the better side so far in the second half. I think yeah, I'll go back to you, John.
Go back to me. Okay, that's fine. Because here is Brett. That is Ruthven. This is a chance for Agnew. Just too far for Brett Agnew. And it will be a Handsworth goal kick, but that was certainly looking promising. And Ches, we've had this conversation before that the Handsworth have really opened things up a bit more in this second half. Hallam look good. And do you think maybe that the advice of going towards the shed end, playing towards their hosts, playing upwards, up the hill, shall we say, in this second half is paying dividends? But before, just to interrupt, as the ball's played another whirlwind ball, and it is a Hallam free kick here.
They're running up that hill in that second half.
They are indeed. Oh, I love the reference.
Oh, God's sake. Yeah, I just got it in the end. In all fairness, I suppose, like I said in the first half, I've never really got why they did want to attack up there in the second half, because surely you'd take it out your legs in an even more tired state. But with the wind behind you, I bet it's as easy as nothing running in brilliant. This, I mean, that ball there from the goal kick, it's ridiculous how bad this wind's getting now, and it will play some part in a goal. I'm fairly confident at that.
Attendance this afternoon is 1,029. That's 1,029.
Unbelievable attendance.
Told you to be over 1,000.
Sponsors attending this afternoon is your fantastic supporter in 2022.
A ground with a capacity of 2,000 and 1,029 people in attendance this afternoon. That is incredible support for this local derby. In fact, I think that's more listens than we've ever had on Football Forum in 4 years, all episodes combined. Here is Daniel Padil with the chance. It's a great effort and a great save from Tedeschi, the goalkeeper. I'm not sure what Jack Brownell, the fullback, was attempting there, but that one's heading down Manchester Road indeed.
It's already at Rivelin Valley Road, that.
That's all right. 11 gone here in this second half.
Yeah,
Hallam nil, Handsworth nil.
Good effort from Padil.
Very good
I
effort
like to
from
see
Padil.
that.
And you were saying in the first half, were you not, George, that
Told you.
that Hallam really need to go.
It's rare I'm wrong, Joe.
You're leaving me speechless there. Unbelievable. But you were saying that Daniel Padil should be on the free kicks. He obviously is, and maybe just because of that one in the first half that was more for a right footer rather than a left footer like Padil.
Possibly, yeah. I think he has got the quality there, hasn't he? And even from just that, you can tell that he's played at high level, because a lot of players would have just put that either into the wall or clipped into the box, not had a go from there.
And you obviously know a fair few of these Handsworth lads, don't you, Ches? Oh my goodness me!
Do I know a fair few? What? Sorry.
No, Ches knows a few of the Handsworth lads, don't you?
Yeah, I know a couple of Handsworth lads. I know Hugo as well from Hallam.
So you'll know what the kind of the mentality is of coming up against someone like Daniel Padil. It must be quite daunting, I'd have thought.
Yeah, and a couple of lads I do know for Handsworth, they're both fairly young lads as well, so I'm sure they'll be relishing this opportunity to play against someone who's played at a professional standard, and but I also know that they won't be scared of playing against them either, so as much it will be a challenge, it'll be a challenge that they're relishing.
Well, especially if they're Sheffield United fans and they can...
Yeah, well, Hugo and Noah Flint, I know, certainly are.
Can leave a few marks on him, shall we say. Handsworth with the ball now.
Hugo shouldn't, since he's playing with him, but...
Never know what can happen. Hallam with the throw here. Brownell will take this. And for some reason, the action has livened up a little bit in the last sort of 5 minutes or so, but you can really hear the noise now that all these... I mean, the wind is fairly noisy as well, but the fans are really producing a noise.
Yeah, they're getting excited, aren't they? You know.
Salt with this throw then for Hallam. Offside again.
No, throw-in. You can't be offside from a throw-in, others.
I do apologise. Yeah, foul throw.
Yeah, I think that's what the ref just indicated anyway, so...
I do apologise for my lack of footballing knowledge here. It's been a long day. Hallam with a chance here. Can Agnew pick this up? No, that is offside. That definitely... We're just checking with the referee and expert. We're just checking that was definitely offside.
I'm going to give the green light, yeah. I think it was offside, yeah.
So Handsworth with this throw then. 14 on the watch in the second half. Just approaching the hour mark now, and really this is the time where teams really need to go for the jugular, as you've been mentioning. Smith to clear this downfield. And a lot of this action now is being played towards this near side. I know there's a hill, so it's not an uneven, it's not an even service with a spirit level, for example. But I'm wondering if it's not level across the pitch rather than lengthwise. Apologies for any language that you may have picked up there. A rather enthusiastic Hallam fan, shall we say. This is good play here. This is a chance, and that is no penalty. Brandon Bradbury breaking through to the box, but referee waving away.
It's a corner. It wasn't a penalty, it was a good tackle.
So a corner to Hallam here. This is probably a good chance for them to go in front. Ball's played in here. Can Hallam, ricocheting around in the box. This is Salt. And Walker doing very well to dispossess of him. Here is Blakely, and Handsworth get the ball back now, and they can go downfield with Mitch Dunn. Playing against the wind, and somehow that's one of the strongest shots we've had recently.
Kept it under the wind.
Hallam attacking again, but that's gone too far, and it will be a goal kick to Handsworth.
We've certainly escaped there, I would say, Handsworth. A couple of opportunities for Hallam. Obviously half opportunities, obviously a penalty shout waved away. So they are getting there.
And what time do you think that either Hallam or Handsworth look to the bench for replacements?
Now.
Substitution for Hallam, who's the first number 19, Kieran Weston, replaced by number 20, Aaron Wilson.
So substitution for Hallam then, and Aaron Wilson, he left Hallam in the summer, he went to Handsworth, and he has returned to Hallam this morning. He is back at Hallam in the blue of Sandygate. Number 20 will come on, and there will be a substitution for Handsworth as well. They've got the high-tech board, and it is Jonathan Williams coming off to be replaced by I've got to be very careful with this, because I think you might have just seen who has come on for Handsworth. Number 13, so we'll have to be careful with this pronunciation. How are we going for this?
Finesse.
Fuquez, I think, is probably the best way of pronouncing it. Or Fuchs. Yeah, Fuchs is probably the best way of pronouncing it. So Sam Fuchs and Aaron Wilson on, and Aaron Wilson, we know what he's about. 102 points for Hallam last season in the division below. They won the title, no worries whatsoever. And it was his goals that contributed in a great number towards that points tally.
It's a good little player, Aaron Wilson, especially for the level he's at.
Indeed. Handsworth players down here. Lost your pen there, Ches?
I'm not wearing gloves either. Yeah, and interestingly about Aaron Wilson, the Sunday League team that I manage, he plays for the team who was, I think they're just a place above us in the Sunday League team. So
you know all about him then?
Well, put it this way, they beat us early on in the season. However, we beat them last season, so it works both ways. I don't think he scored in either of them though. I think his brother did, Tyrone.
While we're waiting for this stoppage, there is a player down receiving treatment, and while we are waiting, let's have a quick chat about Sheffield United playing Thursday night at Blackpool, 8:15 kick-off, Ches, and what are you looking for in that game?
I think just that more consistency. United at times on Boxing Day showed what they were about. There were times where they did open Blackpool up and play some lovely stuff, but there were times where they looked slightly nervy defensively. I think if you see Blackpool do pose a little bit of a different test than what Coventry City do, of course. Obviously they've got the big long ball up to Medina, and they'll look to play off him with the likes of Lavery, and he'll be looking to get involved. I mean, that's what they did when they came to Bramall Lane as well, so just those long balls up to Medina and then play off the second balls and the flick-ons. With United out without Egan, that'll be more of a task to deal with. I think United going forward, just more of the same really.
Well, we shall see. Sheffield United at Blackpool Thursday night, and we'll touch on Sheffield Wednesday later on in this coverage. They're at they host Port Vale on Thursday night as well. So Leon Howarth, he's the player receiving treatment. He's just off to the side. So Handsworth a man light for the moment as he rejoins the pitch. So back up to full figures now. And Handsworth with a good chance here. This is Mitch Dunn. Just can't find that final pass, but he still has the ball. Here is Mitch Dunn. And that will be a goal kick to Hallam. Stoppage in play. Let's quickly chat Sheffield Wednesday then, George, and Port Vale on Thursday night. What do you make of that one?
Yeah, it should be a difficult game. Obviously, we beat Port Vale 1-0 earlier in the season without scoring a screamer. They're bringing a good following as well, Port Vale to Hillsborough, so it should be a good affair, really. I think Wednesday will probably nick it, but, you know, we'll have to see.
We shall see. Predictions for that to come later on. Henry Kahn here on this near side for Handsworth. And a few fisticuffs down here on this near side. Referee gives it the way of Handsworth.
Substitution for Handsworth, midfield number 4, Jonathan Williams.
And Jonathan Williams.
13, Sam Fuchs.
We've already touched on that substitution a few moments ago. It's Handsworth with this chance here, and that's going to run all the way out. I think, in fact, will that be kept in?
It's a throw in.
I can't really see much, but what I can see is the wind and the sort of the drizzle that's coming down. It is bitterly cold here, and in fact, we are getting it in the face quite badly here.
It's flip-flops weather is this. You know what I mean? It's a typical day. It's very high up as well where we are.
And here is a chance for Aaron Wilson, but
edit. Should have been attacking that, George.
Right, we'll finish this attack and then we'll be off to our co-commentator Callum Cheswick. He'll take you through towards up towards the last few minutes. Hallam with this attack. Brownell. Wilson and Ruthven with the chance. Dunn will look to play this down. Can he find? Oh, a good tackle. Good interception there. Throw in for Handsworth, and we'll hand you over to Callum Cheswick.
Yes, cheers, Hadders. So, a Handsworth throw on halfway. It's going to be the left back, Henry Kahn, to take. He's got Fuchs inside on his right. The linesman's just saying to come back an extra couple of yards to take this throw in. Dunn comes to give the short option. Aaron Wilson manages to play the flick through to Bradbury. He looks to play it through to Brett Agnew. He went all the way through to the Handsworth goalkeeper, and he's just going to knock long now. And just you can see it was flying forward, and then it just stops all of a sudden in the air. But Hallam just can't win the ball back now. It's with Handsworth just inside the Hallam half. It's been won back well by Dijawalana. Out on the left-hand side is Williams. He's got Agnew and Aaron Wilson inside the 18-yard box. Agnew pulls off on the edge of the 18. Can he pull the trigger somehow? Can he get half a yard of space? Yes, he can. But it's been blocked well there by Fuchs. Still not cleared by Handsworth as Brownhill looked to try and create something for Hallam, but it's played down the right-hand side, and Mitch Dunn is looking to get the better of Dijawalana. They both go slightly down, and the referee waves away. Dunn berates the linesman out on that far side, but nothing given. Crossfield pass there by Pewdill. Brownhill up towards Aaron Wilson. He just can't roll his man Henry Kahn. It's out of play for a Handsworth throw midway inside the Handsworth half. It's going to be another substitution. See who for in a moment as the linesman comes to make way. It's a Hallam substitution, so it's Brett Agnew coming off to be replaced by Brad Kerr. So that's got that Brett Agnew opportunity where he couldn't really get a clean shot away. That was his last involvement here at Sandygate this afternoon. Hallam looking for a different dimension to come and try and get all 3 points from this game. But if you're looking at it, chaps, surely Handsworth would be the side who would more favour the draw.
Well, I would have thought so. I mean, both on similar points in the table, both not played for a long while, and really Handsworth have already got a couple over Hallam this season, obviously with those 2 victories in League and Cup. So I think Handsworth would be happier, but I think Hallam know, and as I've spoken to Craig Denton in the past, he's like he said, he wanted the lads need to go and put a shift out on the pitch, and they've put a shift out, definitely, but no end product, unfortunately.
Hallam throwing down the right-hand touchline as Bradbury throws Dunn to the ground, and Dunn, he's certainly getting aggravated. He feels he's been fouled a number of times now, so he's just making his case to Jason Smith. But Jason Smith is also telling him his point of view. So it will be a Handsworth free kick around 10 yards in, left-hand side of the Handsworth half.
It's all right, I do apologise. I've just noticing usually the hot food counter's not open anywhere near as late as this usually.
Oh, I thought you were on the George's attention for some reason. Never mind. As Williams picks it up from that Handsworth free kick, it's been knocked down by Ken, but it's been picked up by Williams again. And Aaron Wilson, could he also get there first? No, it's Zielinski in his green shirt, black shorts and black socks for Handsworth. He got there ahead of the Hallam forward. Williams going long again towards Wilson. It's over the head of him and out all the way for a Handsworth goal kick. And well, it's with the wind, those long balls, but you've got to take a little bit off him, otherwise you're going straight through into that shed end. So if you're Hallam, do you look to try and play on the floor a little bit more?
Yeah, I was just going to say they haven't had much really to cheer, haven't they, the shed end so far this game. Cheering the keeper.
There we go, high up into the air again, and backwards it was coming, but it's got the last touch off of Ken and out for a Hallam throw. It's been down the right hand side towards Aaron Wilson. Can't see much from this vantage point, but it looks like it's going to be a Hallam throw.
I was going to say I've been waiting all game because there is one individual in this stand that shouts and cheers very loudly, shall we say, and that's the first time I've heard him this afternoon.
As Hallam have the ball in that right little corner, put in by Brownhill, still not cleared. As Walker plays it out to the right hand side for Dunn, back to Walker. He can only knock high into this Sheffield afternoon.
It just seems like the ball's not really falling exactly where Hallam want it to. Like, they've had some good half chances, but they've just not had that one clinical clear-cut chance. They might have here though.
That was a brilliant ball, by the way, by Di Girolamo. Looked up, he was kind of a disguised reverse pass. It looked like he was going out to the right wing back Brownhill, but instead he looked to break the line in towards Wilson. He just couldn't get it under control as Ruthin goes and shows for the short option. It's going to be another Hallam throw on that right corner. Ruthin looking to go and show again. He's got Bradbury in support though as well. Does Brownhill. Ball in. Oh, he's seen it! Hallam has scored! Ball in for the right hand side by Brownhill. The keeper Zielinski on his debut. That's not a moment to remember for him. He can't keep it out. And Hallam open the scoring here at Sandygate. What happened there, gents? Because that goal came out of nothing.
Well, I think that it was just a clever ball from the corner, and really Zielinski, he thought he'd got it. It turns out he'd let it slip, and it's in the back of the net, and it's a fantastic 1-0 lead for Hallam.
Sure, it deflected Cheswick from the right hand side. I think he actually looked to clip it into the box, pretty sure, and then, well, I don't know what the keeper were doing, but, well, Hallam will take it.
Well, the privilege you get when you commentate at Premier League is you've got the TV cameras to show you all the replays. However,
no such luxury here this afternoon.
Say it how you see it, but Hallam ahead after half an hour of this second half. And it's with Handsworth who have to try and fight back to get back into this game, as I'm sure that goal will be, well, it'll be claimed by Brownhill. Whether it's given to him, we'll wait and see come full time. It's Handsworth, the ones who are going to be chasing for now. They got a free kick pretty much midway inside the Hallam half. It's Morgan James over it. There's 6 on the edge of the 18 to aim for if he so chooses, which I'm sure he will. A little dink ball towards the back post. It's Smith who looks to keep it alive, but the linesman's flag goes up on that far side, so it's going to be a Handsworth offside called and a Hallam free kick.
We were wondering how long has been so far and what time we kicked off. I'm just checking the social media accounts as there's been a substitution, and I believe that this is for Handsworth, and it will be number 9. That is Leon Howarth. He's had a fantastic game so far. He will depart the field in place of Sam Smith, number 12. So a chance for Handsworth to replenish their strike force. And
Sam Smith used to play for Hallam.
I'm not sure, in fact. I'll take your word for it.
I thought he sung Skyfall.
But
I know that was Adele anyway, weren't it?
Yes, it was.
Oh, bloody hell.
But what I will just say is that Hallam have said it was a 70th minute goal, and Handsworth have said it's a 76th minute goal. So.
And you were saying that we were the most professional.
Handsworth leads the field, number 8 to parking, and number 9 Leon Howard, to be replaced by number 12 Sam Smith. Number 14, William Harvey.
They have said, though, that, well, they've not given a scorer, so I would assume it's an own goal.
Ball over the top there, and who's going to get there first? It's Brad Kerr, manages to keep it in, looks to play the ball back to Aaron Wilson, but it's been defended well there by Alfie Smith, so it's going to be a Hallam corner on that right-hand side, as it was 2 changes made there for Handsworth. It was Joe Parkin and Leon Harworth coming off, and Sam Smith and Rion Arabuin coming on.
Hallam have definitely looked the more attacking side in the last few minutes.
Can't see who's over this corner, but it's been drilled in towards the back post. Dijuralano with a contact. The keeper got a touch to it, but there was a foul in there anyway, so it's going to be a Handsworth free kick.
I believe Jack Brownell's on the corners, but that's only because he got the assist for the goal.
So it's that free kick about to be taken now by Sininsky. Manages to reach halfway, but it's been won in the air by Hallam, and now Ivan Wilson. Oh no, it's Williams, sorry, looking to play it through to Wilson. Inside the 18-yard box, saved by Sininsky. Down low to his left-hand side. He might not have covered himself in glory for the Hallam goal, but he did well there to stop Ivan Wilson. As Hallam picked the ball back up again now. Drops out to the right-hand side by Bradbury. Now it's with Brownhill stepping inside the Handsworth half. Evades one challenge. Looks to play it up towards Ruthin. Knocked high into the air by Smith. He's going to have to deal with that again. And walking out brings it down. Looks to play it up towards Arabuin.
That's the first time I've seen anyone ever head their own clearance.
Arabuin out on that kind of right back position. Chops it off, and now it's cleared up towards Morgan James. Sets it off to Ken. Down the line looking for Dunn. Dunn looking to get on the end of this pass from Ken, but it's being mopped up well by Nico Dijuralano. Looks to hook it down the right hand side. And in the end I think it's gone out for a Hallam throw-in.
Look like they're losing a bit of belief, Handsworth here. I think that goal might have maybe tipped it. I think for Hallam, I think Aaron Wilson will want that shot back to make it 2-0 as well.
Yeah, well, he did pretty much all the right things. Managed to get wrong side of the defender. I think if it was on his right foot, could have been saying 2-0 Handsworth, Hallam, sorry. But Handsworth managed to clear there, but it's been picked up well, and Aaron Wilson sets it off to Brad Kerr on the right hand side. Also played back into Wilson, but it's been cleared now by McFadden. Oh, it's an awful save by Sininsky. He's managed to somehow put it into his own net. Brad Kerr looks to drill the ball across the face of goal. Sandygate. I'm not sure what he was doing there. Whether he tried to catch it or punch it. Either way, it's ended up in the back of his own net, and it's Hallam 2, Handsworth 0.
Unbelievable. I mean, we said that he got a hand on the first one. It's gone down into Brad Kerr goal. I mean, arguably, would you give it to the goalkeeper? I mean, obviously they've given it to Brad Kerr, but it was another absolute howler from Sandygate, the goalkeeper. And I know it's his debut and everything. You can have first game nerves, but to be arguably the main. I mean, I know the win takes a lot of assistance in both those goals, but it's two absolute howlers from the goalkeeper on his debut.
It is, and you've got to feel sorry for him in a way. It's certainly two that you'd expect a goalkeeper to be able to catch.
And well, if Handsworth had lost a bit of belief before that, I'm sure they've lost the majority of it now. But they are in the Hallam third. Walker with a throw in towards Dunn. Looks to try and roll past Williams, but the left wing back does well there for Hallam, and he can watch it out for a home goal kick.
We're noticing a few that are heading towards the exits now. The shed end in full volume though still. This will be a huge win for Hallam if they can hold on to this one.
And yeah, we've been saying that Hallam have been alright, but Handsworth really haven't covered himself in too much glory. Tried relying on the counter in the first half, but they've really struggled in this second half to have any impact on the game going forward. So what has really been the problem for Handsworth in this second 45?
They've just failed to get going, really, haven't they? I mean, they had a relative amount of the play in the first half. They didn't look half as poor as they've been in this second half, but I think 2 goalkeeping errors completely undone them, and I think this could be game over now.
Yeah, and you could hear the jeers and laughs as Sandygate goal kick again was high into the air and back towards him. It had to be a diving headed, somewhat clearance back to his own keeper by Walker. And it's gone back out for another goal kick. Haddis wants a photo with the Coventry guys. And his finger's getting in the way of the camera, so that's pointless, Haddis. As Handsworth looks to try and play out. As Bradbury does well enough to try and stop Fuchs in his strikes, but it's out towards the left-hand side with Cairn. Looks to play it over towards that right-hand side, and who's he got to fall for? He's going to fall for a Handsworth man, but he just can't keep it in between Warhurst goalposts, and it's out for a goal kick for Hallam.
Should be doing better with that for me, Callum. I think ball came across. He had time to take a touch. Instead, he just lashed at it. First time, I don't know. Seems like a bit of a wasted opportunity, that for Handsworth.
Yeah, he certainly should have done better in terms of trying to keep it on target. When you were saying he should have done better with that, I thought you was meaning had his photo taking skills, to be honest.
That's the first time I've ever tried taking a selfie with an iPad.
Yes, and a somewhat failed attempt, unfortunately, I have to say. Oh, and that's late contact on Rutten by Smith, but nothing given by the referee.
Ever the professional on Football Forum Live.
Well, I had my eye on it anyway, so that'll do for us. Dunn looks to play it out to the right-hand side. It's been dealt with by Williams. It's knocked further clear by Pudil. McFadden goes home to his goalkeeper, who's getting jeered by that shed end. It's Dunn evades the challenge of Bradbury, who's still working hard to win it back for Hallam. And that's brilliantly done there as well by Adam Blakely to stop the number 7 for Handsworth, Morgan James, from progressing the ball forward as Pudil does well again. Rutten drops it off to Bradbury. Now up towards Brad Kerr, the goal scorer of Hallam's second. He just can't keep that in out on that far side, so it's going to be a Handsworth throw over in that corner. My guess we've had around 40 minutes in or so of this one. Not too long left in this game. If Handsworth are going to look to try and get anything out of it, they've certainly got to start playing forward more and better.
I reckon we're about 7 minutes from time.
As it's with Ken midway inside a Hallam half, out towards that left-hand side with Ailes. Comes in field to Fuchs. Over on that right-hand side now with Rubian. Dinks it in, it's headed away by Salt and knocked further cleared by Ruthin. Williams can't get there, the ball goes through his legs after a little touch from Fuchs. Handsworth looking to advance again. Inside from the right is Dunn. Goes down, but no contact given there. He just stumbled down and it's cleared further forward from Hallam, who were just quite happy to sit just in front of their own goal, and there's going to be another substitution.
Yeah, they're just seeing it out at this point, aren't they, Hallam? It's not really doing much. Well, the more experienced players are coming on now.
Yep, so that's another change for Hallam. It's Scott Ruthin. That's his race run. And on comes Richard Patterson to replace him.
Popular figure here at Hallam.
And Noah Flint is about to come on for the number 11 James Ells. So
substitution for Handsworth, leave the field, number 11.
See if Noah Flint can do himself any justice. If not, I'll tell his brother that he was poor. But as for now, Hallam throw about 10 yards inside of Handsworth half up towards Aaron Wilson. Set back to Bradbury, who looks to switch it over to Brownhill. And that's late there on he was Richard Patterson. That was his first involvement.
His brother Danny leaving the club earlier on in the summer. Long-time servants of the club, both of them.
He was the captain as well, wasn't he?
He was indeed.
They both came from Worksop under Craig Denton, didn't they?
They did, yes.
So it's Bradbury over this free kick. He's around 15-20 yards inside a Handsworth half. Still few bodies forward for Hallam, and he's put it in between the goalposts of Zielinski, and why not with how tetchy he's been at dealing with those. But he managed to claim that one and make it his.
I think he's wised up to the all the goal kicks going backwards and forwards, and he's decided to roll them out now.
Could be around an hour too late. Is Williams driving forward from left wing back once again. Beats one. Pulls it back. There's Brad Kerr with the back post. And Zielinski gets his body in front of it, and it's being cleared away by Cairn out for a corner for Hallam. Williams has been excellent, especially in this second half. Every time he's got the ball, he's looked threatening going forward. And a decent little ball there. Brad Kerr, he's certainly been effective since coming on as well. So it will be this Hallam corner from the right-hand side. There's 4 in there to aim for. There's a man on the edge as well. He's going to go all the way through. I think Chris Salt's going to go and keep this ball alive. Drops it off to Williams, who's got to be closed down by Rubion. Put the ball in. It's going to come all the way through to Blakely. One-on-one with Cairn. Lord goes on the outside and inside. And he just can't keep it inside the left post of Zielinski, just wide. But decent ability to get his shot off there. 2 head injuries there for a Handsworth and the Hallam player. It's Patterson and Dunn, I believe.
At what point do the Handsworth start throwing the kitchen sink at things?
Should have been about 10 minutes ago, really.
As the wind blows an absolute gale.
Have to be a hefty stink, a hefty sink for them to get anything from this game. They've offered very little in this second half, Hatters, and
There will be an additional 5 minutes at the end of the second half.
I'll eat my hat if they get 2 goals.
Armitage Shanks. So that is 5 minutes of added on time, Hatters, if you'd take us through.
No problem at all, Callum. Yes, so we're into added time now, approaching it, shall we say. Hallam 2, Handsworth 0. Both goals coming from errors from goalkeeper Mateusz Zanitsky, but some great play for Hallam this second half, especially as the wind blows an absolute gale, and at least the rain has quietened down now. So it's just bitterly freezing, and I suppose for this level of football, we were probably expecting that.
Yeah, you know.
The main question is, why didn't we bring any gloves?
Why didn't I bring some thermal socks is what I'm asking myself, because my feet are absolutely freezing.
Both 2 things that I have done, guys. I've decided against the gloves because my hands are quite warm right now, so...
I wish I could say the same thing.
Must be nice.
See, with Football Forum Live, it's 10 to 5 on this Tuesday evening, I believe. I believe it is Tuesday evening, but...
there's going to be a card for one of the things for the Handsworth.
Who knows what day it is. It is a yellow card for manager Jason Dodsworth of the Handsworth dugout. Giving the referee a few choice words, I think we should say, as some fans stand up and obscure our view. Most likely, they're probably off. And there is a serious head injury here. Both sets of physios looking at this Handsworth player, and not quite sure as to who is on the floor, but
I think it is Mitch Dunn.
Mitch Dunn, and he's been arguably one of the better players for Handsworth this entire game. As I just try and adjust my jumper, I do apologise. And don't forget, we will have live and exclusive match reaction from both camps. We'll have Craig Denton of Hallam FC and Jason Dodsworth, who's just been cautioned for those choice words. We will have exclusive reaction from them both before we go off air this evening. So do stay with us. We will, of course, be back in the new year. I can't imagine we'll be doing any reaction to the Blackpool and Port Vale games this Thursday night. But we will be back in the new year in 2023 to bring you every single Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday game covered in terms of a reaction from it, and we'll preview most of the games as well. It won't be long before we're back here at Hallam FC, although we might have to wait till it warms up a little bit. And I think is such the success of this afternoon, I think we might press on with more commentaries from here.
I'm happy too, as long as I dress as a polar bear next time. Absolutely freezing.
Just some advice. 2 pairs of socks, thermal long johns, and a big coat. That's a minimum.
So we're well into the 5 minutes of added time. We're still yet to resume, and you are right. In fact, Chaz, it is Mitch Dunn, the player that has received this head treatment, and he's back up on his feet, which is very good to see.
Don't look in a great way though.
I have to agree with you, George, and I don't think he'll be playing much further part in this or any future games for the foreseeable future. Mitch Dunn leaves the pitch. And Handsworth are,
Substitution for Handsworth, midfield number 10, Mitch Dunn.
just as I say that, Joshua Round enters the field of play in replacement for the injured Mitch Dunn. So onwards we go then. Hallam will...
and man of the match this evening is Hallam's aboard, Hugo Warhurst. The presentation will take place after the game in the 1863.
So Hugo Warhurst has been given man of the match. That is for Hallam's official. Let's throw it over to George Barber. And in fact, are you two gonna congregate and have a think of your man of the match, or should we just give them to both here?
Well, I don't know what we should do. Two separate ones.
Two separate ones as Henry Khan looks to get this ball out. It's unsuccessful. Here is Ruthven, and here's a chance for Kerr. A chance for Kerr.
Am I doing a man of the match for Hallam?
No, a man of the match for the entire game, as in...
Oh, okay. You know what? I think the player that's impressed me most was number 9 for Hallam. I'm not sure who that was.
Scott Ruthven. Scott Ruthven is your man of the match. Ches, your man of the match.
I'm going to go for Tyler Williams, left wing back of Hallam. I think he's been excellent up and down that left-hand side.
So 2 Hallam players receiving man of the match from our 2 men here. I think there's no real prizes for getting the worst man of the match, if there is such a thing. Hallam 2, Handsworth 0, deep into added time, and I assume we're probably going to have a lot more yet after stoppage, lengthy stoppage, shall we say, for that. I wouldn't say concussion, I'd say head injury of sorts.
But yeah, just going back to that Kerr chance, it was an excellent pullback from Brownhill. But I think there's another injury down in that bottom right corner as well. But Kerr did excellently to just have one touch out of his feet and bang, he did everything right. Just couldn't get it inside the goalpost, but a decent enough attempt.
There's a fair few more fans stream towards the exits, a lot of them streaming towards the bar, and that's our port of call, I assume, in the next 3/4 of an hour.
Streaming like my eyes with how cold they are.
You've not been able to get out of that then?
Well, the game will resume. It's a bit difficult. The view is slightly obscured, but I believe Hallam will have the throw. I believe so, but I could be mistaken. The referee giving something in the way of Handsworth.
Something's going on over there.
Unfortunately, we are unable to see. Our view obscured by fans that have streamlined the touchline. Brownhill. Hallam have this ball on the far side. That will be... I'm really unsure as to what is going on over there. Maybe some taunting perhaps from the Hallam fans. Here's Brownhill. He's been fantastic this game. Hallam throw once more. Shed End still absolutely packed, and I don't blame them. They've thoroughly deserved to relish this victory. And there is full time. The referee calling time on this game. Hallam with a fantastic victory over Handsworth, and 2 goals then coming in the second half, as you heard, expertly called by Callum. The first a slightly obscured chance, the goalkeeper making a bit of a mess of it and chucking it in his own net, I think is the kindest way of saying it. And a very similar circumstance for the second goal, but that one will go down as a Brad Kerr goal. Wind assisted both, as the rain starts to team down once more here at Sandygate. It has finished here. Hallam FC 0. I do apologise, it has finished here. Hallam 2, Handsworth 0. Chappers has got the local roundup now.
Have I got my bed?
Yeah, you
Have I
have.
got a bed? Nobody knows what a bed is. Nobody knows what a bed is. From the ones that you sleep on. I'm taking, yeah.
There you go.
You're home for United on Wednesday.
The game that we've created the least in is the game that we score 3 in.
I don't know how we didn't go in more than 1-0 down.
With the biggest guess.
Oh, morning, mate. You alright?
Hello there.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you for coming in, Rob.
Cheers, guys.
Joseph Hadfield.
You know why I didn't bring my jelly babies after last time.
Josh Chapman.
We had no right to be anywhere near those playoffs.
Connor Thorpe.
Still trying to come to terms with what I witnessed.
I don't believe it. He's
No.
got it. Oh,
Is it?
spot on. It is.
Get
Huddersfield
Before
Town.
I even had a chance.
Even Sheffield Wednesday have scored
There was
penalties.
a point where we were only scoring.
This is Football Forum.
Thursdays from 7 o'clock. So welcome back here to Sandygate, a fantastic victory for Hallam FC, 2-0 winners over Handsworth. Let's just bring you up to date with the full-time results across the Northern Counties Eastern League Premier Division this evening. Albion Sports 3, Goldcar United 6, a fantastic game there for Goldcar United. Barton Town 4, Maltby Main 1, Eccles Hill United 0, Thackley 2. We don't know the result yet between Emley and Penistone Church, that local derby up in Emley. We also don't know its latest score between Frickley Athletic and Hemsworth Miners Welfare. We'll bring you the results of those when we can. Goole AFC and North Ferriby, we don't know the result of that either. We do know Hallam have beaten Handsworth here by 2-0. Knaresborough Town 0, Garforth Town 1, Winterton Rangers 2, Bottisford Town 1, and we don't know the result between Yorkshire Amateur and Silsden. Let's have a quick look at the table as things stand, and that result, the table has not been updated yet, but what we can deduce so far from the fact that Barton Town have won and Hallam have won as well, it will move Hallam above Handsworth in the league table. It'll bring them up to they will be on 32 points with a +2 goal difference from 22 games, so good victory there. Let's come to our expert summarise and our co-commentator throughout this afternoon. We'll start with Callum and Ches. 2-0 victory for Hallam. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think quality in for the most part was few and far between. There wasn't so many glimpses of glaring ability for either side, but I think Hallam certainly were able to manage the conditions a lot better. I think Handsworth really struggled to impart the game plan in the second half. I think first half they certainly dealt with Hallam's threats well, and that's why they only really conceded maybe two half-decent chances during that first 45 minutes, but the second half Hallam blew them away. Handsworth really struggled to impart the game plan. Like I said, they really couldn't utilise that counter-attack that worked so effectively for them in the first half, and like I say, Hallam with those conditions working for them. And I mentioned during commentary that I thought the wind would play somewhat a part in a goal, and it must have really for those two calamitous errors by both goalkeepers.
Well, it did indeed. It was two wind-assisted goals, I think is the way to say it. George, obviously a victory for Hallam. Do we think that obviously the wind and the keeper played their part in both goals really, and mainly the victory, but what do you think it was about Hallam in that second half that really sort of pushed them on and gave them the victory?
I think a lot of it comes from the two goalkeeping errors. I think it was a very, very look, I don't think many people except Hallam fans through and through are going to walk away from that game saying, oh, that were a Christmas classic, because it wasn't. It was a very cagey affair, two teams who were trying to feel each other out but just couldn't. I think Hallam probably edged it on the overall, like how much they deserved it potentially, but
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's never great when the two goals come from two very poor goalkeeping errors.
Yeah.
I think that probably puts a bit of a not for Hallam, obviously.
Bit of a downer on it, shall we say.
We're obviously one of the main coverage things for Hallam, so that's good in that sense. But for Handsworth, though, I think they'll be very disappointed today. I think they've come away probably expecting maybe to get something from the game, but haven't. So it's 2 keeping errors that have really let them down. Obviously, the keeper, not to be too harsh on him because he'll be feeling won't be feeling very great about himself tonight, especially after that. But it's one of them things.
While we're waiting, we will get match reaction from both managers as soon as we can. While we're waiting, in fact, and freezing ourselves, in fact, just to bring you up to date with the results from in the professional leagues this afternoon. So Bolton 0, Derby 0. That was a 3 o'clock kickoff as well. And Bolton and Derby, George, obviously playoff chasers along with Sheffield Wednesday. That's sort of helped Sheffield Wednesday. In fact, it's one less team to worry about.
I think definitely. Sorry, could you repeat that question?
Yeah. Do you think the fact that Bolton and Derby, the fact that they've both drawn and dropped points, that makes life a bit easier for Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah. I think it's a good result for us. Obviously, building on from the win from yesterday.
Are you all right to pass your microphone over, George, if you want to come over here, Jason? We're now joined live here on Football Forum by Jason Dodsworth, Handsworth manager. So, Jason, 2-0 defeat here at Hallam. Give us your take on your team's performance.
Can't really grumble, to be fair, at team's performance. Thought they worked really hard. Didn't stop running. Created the better chances in the game. A game that we played in terrible conditions. I think we've missed 3 or 4 really good chances. But if you don't take them chances in football, that's what happens. And obviously we've been done by a free cross that's gone straight in due to conditions. And second half we just couldn't get out. As I say, it's a game of 2 halves. First half we've pinned them in. We've had a couple of good chances. And then second half we had a really good chance with Leon through 1-on-1. Keeper's made a good save. And then, as I said, from there we just can't get out. We couldn't get out for the second half.
Yeah, and you mentioned about the conditions. Do you think Hallam managed them better in that second half?
Yeah, well, it suits Hallam. That's how they play. They're a very direct team. They're big and direct. They're good at what they do. They just keep putting it on you. As I say, there weren't much quality in the game, football-wise. It was just a big boot and pick the bits up. And as I say, it suits Hallam. And us, as you saw with goalkeeper taking his goal kick, so they were blowing back towards edge of our box. So no complaints with that. As I say, if the lads want to come and put the effort in and not run and rolled over, then I'd have been disappointed. But as much as I'm disappointed with the result, I thought the lads they worked hard in the conditions.
And obviously it was a challenging game, shall we say? Obviously a debut for your new keeper, and struggled a little bit in. Partially involved in both goals, in fact. How do you pick him up after a performance like that?
Listen, he's a grown man. It'll not be first mistake that he'll have made. It'll not be last. But they're only human. It happens in football. And as I say, with the conditions that they are, I maybe could be a bit critical on the second one. I thought he probably could have done better with that one. But the first one, he kind of took a step back and he's just been caught out. The kids drilled it in and the winds took it into near top corner. So he just couldn't get back across to keep it out. So, listen, as I say, we play at this level for a reason. And it'll not be the first time we'll make a mistake. It'll not be last. He'll lift his head up and we'll go again on Maltby, day after New Year's Day.
Yeah, and of course you mentioned about how Hallam played direct game. How did you try and set up to deal with that? Personally, I thought you tried to use the counter-attack a lot in the first half.
Yeah, well,
struggled to really get out in the second.
Yeah, we know. Obviously, we've played them 3 times now this season, and as I said, the direct team we set up to win the first, and if we didn't, make sure we pick the bits up, because that's what they're really good at. If the midfield three is really busy, look to pick the second balls up and get the ball wide and fire balls into the box for the strikers that they've got. We look to nullify that and then hit them on the break, which, as I say, I thought we did well in first half. Second half, first 5 minutes, we should have scored, should have gone 1-0 up, and then, as I say, I think conditions got worse, to be fair, and we just couldn't get out. We couldn't get out, and fair play to Hallam. They play the condition, and they've got the 3 points.
And Jason, obviously we talk about how difficult it was this afternoon, and fair play to the fans that have made it, because over 1,000 here at Sandygate this afternoon. A lot of Handsworth fans have made the journey over, and unfortunately it wasn't the result you want, but fair play to all those fans for going.
No, brilliant for fans. I mean, they've been getting big crowds here all season at Hallam, and that's one thing about the club. The fans turned up in numbers, and today over 1,000, and like you say, there were quite a few Handsworth fans here, which were good to see. Just sorry for them that we couldn't get the result that they wanted and we wanted, but they'll keep coming. We just ask them to keep coming back, and especially at home games as we look to try and build us crowd at home as well. But yeah, the over 1,000 in a NCL game, it's phenomenal, like, for Hallam.
And let's just touch on, as you mentioned, 2nd of January, Monday, Maltby Main next up for you away from home.
Yeah.
How do you see that one going?
Listen, it's going to be another tough test. Maltby's picked up of late. A couple of our players have just signed for them, so we'll know a bit about them anyway. Again, it's going to be another tough pitch, conditions, and within that time now, within that winter period where conditions are deteriorating, it's wind, it's raining, and you find yourself in battles. Obviously, we've got the advantage of 4G being at home where we can play good football, but when we come away to places like this now, in these conditions, you have to be up for the fight, you have to be up for the battle. And again, it's going to be the same at Maltby.
How's Mitch done after that? Do you think he'll be ready
he's still a bit ropey. I think it's more his jaw that he caught it in. Hopefully he'll be okay for the next game, but we'll assess him, and Kev, our physio, he'll keep having a look at him and see how he goes. But hopefully he'll be okay. It was just a nasty clash.
Brilliant. Jason, thank you very much for your time. That's Jason Dodsworth, Handsworth manager, here live on Football Forum. George, I'll pass that back to you. We are awaiting Craig Denton, the Hallam manager. When he does appear, we will get him live. Gents, obviously we've heard Jason there, and fantastic victory for Hallam. How do you think Handsworth have to respond after that? Because as we say, the main talking point from that is the fact that Mitch Dunn went off with that injury. How do Handsworth pick themselves up and go again on Monday?
Yeah, well, I think Jason's just mentioned it then about how there wasn't a lack of fight or spirit in there. The Handsworth certainly did go until the final whistle, but it's just a question of can you find a way to play and deal with these conditions, and that's where Hallam jumped Handsworth this afternoon. And like I said, Maltby's not a nice pitch to play on. The conditions, I'm sure, won't be too dissimilar to what they have been today here at Sandygate. So it's just about making sure that you do prepare right, you do fight as much as you did today, and when you get the opportunities to show your quality, especially in front of goal, like the couple of opportunities that Handsworth had today, that you take them against Maltby.
And well, what do we make of it overall? Because let's be fair, it's the first time that you've both been to Sandygate in a long while. What have you made of the day as a whole?
George?
Absolutely freezing. I am cold. But no, on the overall, it's been all right. I think it's certainly different coming like here as not an official.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of times where I've come up here and ran the line, sat in a lot of different games, and I've come here once as a spectator before, and that was even for some other journalism for my second year of my uni course. So I've never actually come up here to watch the game of football, but today you can more or less say I have, because obviously you two have mainly been on the main commentary today. I've done a bit of that before, obviously, but no, it's been quite alright. Just relax and watch a game of football, and I think
no worries. I do apologise there. That was manager Craig Denton of Hallam. He will be joining us very shortly. While we're waiting for a couple of minutes, because by the way, it is really freezing, and I know the lads want to get off and what have you. And lads, you are more than welcome to get off if you so wish.
But yeah, we've
waiting for my dad to pick me up.
We've committed for this song as
You've
well.
You've committed, anyway. So we will be with you for the next few minutes. While we wait, obviously, let's chat World Cup then, because obviously the World Cup's been and gone now. Club football's back, and what do we think of a Winter World Cup?
I didn't like it. It was a good World Cup, don't get me wrong, good quality. But there's something about watching a World Cup in the winter that, you know, when a World Cup's on, you like to go out for like a beer or something like that with your mates, just out in a beer garden somewhere. Go out after, like, celebrate the win, stuff like that. I don't know. There was something about it. Obviously we're filled with politics, and I do wish sometimes politics would step aside from football, because it does annoy me. But you know, that's a different topic of conversation for probably a whole dedicated podcast. But it's one I think obviously England exiting didn't help.
Yeah.
To be honest, I weren't that, but the final were great, so that's all I'll say.
That's all you'll say. We are awaiting manager Craig Denton very shortly. Just to update you on the final results then from the Northern Counties Eastern League Premier Division from this afternoon. Albion Sports 3, Goldcar United 6, Barton Town 4, Maltby Lane 1, Eccleshill United 0, Thackley 2, Emley 4, Penistone Church 4. So they played out an 8-goal thriller. Frickley Athletic 3, Hemsworth Miners Welfare 0, Goole 0, North Ferriby 2 to North Ferriby remaining top of the division. They're frankly running away with it. We know Hallam 2, Handsworth 0. They've given it down as a Jack Brownell goal and then Brad Kerr for the second. So no own goals there. We called them as own goals, but never mind. Knaresborough Town 0, Garforth Town 1, Winterton Rangers 2, Bottisford Town 1, Yorkshire Amateur 1, Silsden 2. They've not updated the league table yet, but we will we'll let you know on the next podcast. Before we do, we are still waiting, and obviously we will have to interrupt if needs be. But predictions for this weekend's games, because we talked in length about Sheffield United on Wednesday. On Thursday night, we'll start with Sheffield Wednesday. It is Blackpool. No, sorry, it's not Blackpool. Blackpool playing United. Port Vale are travelling to Sheffield Wednesday Thursday night. 7:45 kickoff. Your prediction, George?
3-1 Wednesday, Joe. I'm just going to go straight in there. I'm not messing around. I'm a bit cold to think about it.
Yeah.
But 3-1 Wednesday, and I think Port Vale will definitely score, but no, Wednesday for the win. It's got to be
3-1 for George. What are you saying, Ches?
See, Wednesday have not really well. He's been one of them. I think they've been in second gear, but still getting results. So I'll go 2-1 Wednesday. 2-1
Wednesday. What do I feel like going for? On a back Wednesday, 101st game in charge for Downmoor. I'll say 2-0 Wednesday. I will err on the side of confidence in Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield United, they're at Blackpool. Prediction. We'll start with Ches. What are you going for?
Yeah, well, like we mentioned earlier, I think being able to deal with Gary Medine without John Egan is going to be a massive task for whoever comes in there, whether it be Chris Basham coming in at right centre half and Ahmed Hodzic going in centrally, or maybe something else in terms of chucking another defender in there. But that's what I'd probably predict United going with. That's what happened with Heckingbottom bringing Basham on and putting Ahmed Hodzic into that centre half role. So it'll be a big task for Ahmed Hodzic to deal with Medine. But if United can do that, stop those balls out to Lavery getting out there, they'll have the joy with Njai McAtee's coming into his own now. McBurney might be an option to come back as well, Heckingbottom said yesterday. But Blackpool certainly do offer the threat going forward. So I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1 between Blackpool and Sheffield United. George, what are you saying?
I think obviously I know more about United than I do Blackpool, and that is saying something, because I don't know, I don't really look at the Championship. Do you know what position are Blackpool in quickly?
Blackpool
23rd, I think.
Let me just check, because I did put this on my notes, but my hands are so freezing I can't find it.
Because I'm sure I heard the other day they're in the bottom three, and it surprised me.
Blackpool are 22nd.
Okay.
They are 2 points off Hull, who are just outside the drop zone.
All right.
I would say it's going to be 2-0 to Sheffield United.
2-0 United. You're on the side of caution with 1-1. I'll go 1-0 United, because as we said, well, I only saw the Wigan game. I haven't even had a chance to see the Coventry game, but I will say that so I'll go 1-0 to Sheffield United. Right then, we are just awaiting Hallam manager Craig Denton, so he will join us. You're right to pass the mic across again, George. If you want to come up here, mate. So we're now joined live here on Football Forum by Hallam manager Craig Denton. Hallam, Craig, 2-0 victory over Handsworth this afternoon. Your thoughts on your team's performance?
Yeah, I thought it was a good performance. I thought the first half we played really well. We were on the front foot. We created a few chances where we probably could have gone 1 or 2-0 up. A couple of mistakes on our behalf got them in a few chances at times, but I just thought we edged it in the first half, and we just at half time we just sort of regrouped and gave out some positives, and we wanted to really kick on the second half. For that first 10 minutes were a bit quiet, which allowed Handsworth to get into the game. I think both the goals for me, it's a keeper's mistake, but you've got to, you've got to create your own luck. And I thought we got a little bit lucky today in terms of the goals, but our performance wasn't lucky. It was hard work and desire.
Did you make a point of utilising the conditions to your advantage in the second half?
Yeah, we knew that it was going to be, first and second half really quite tough. The pitch was going to become heavier and heavier. And my assistant manager Robbie, he highlighted areas what we really can get at Handsworth, and it was the wide players, our full-backs, wing-backs in Jack Burnell and Tyler Williams. We thought that they were going to be really influential for us in the second half. So. Yeah, the conditions. We just wanted to get the ball out wide and get crosses in the box as much, and try and get the ball in the back of the net.
And obviously, we were mentioning the last time that Hallam played. You felt that your team crumbled and they needed to put a shift in. Do you think they've really put a shift in this afternoon?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I thought we really put a shift in front of an unbelievable attendance. I thought we literally everyone were fighting for each other. I think our characters and as players have come and gone since playing Handsworth previously. We've brought in Olivier, and obviously weren't available today, but the likes of Nico at centre half. Other players have come back from injury and suspension, and I just think we've got a little bit more about us. But again, the lads have grafted in terrible conditions.
Speaking about lads who have come in, Aaron Wilson signing back today. Scored loads of goals for you last season, and since leaving you in the summer, he's not really hit the heights that people were expecting, but he's come back to a place where he is loved and appreciated. How big of a sign is that for you going into the second half of the campaign?
Yeah, I thought firstly we were disappointed that Aaron moved on after the second time, but he obviously been lured to go and to play at step 4 and step 3, and so we have to respect his ambitions. I thought he's probably just had 2 clubs more than he really should have at this moment in time, and I've spoken to him at length with that. I was disappointed that he did leave us, but then obviously with playing for Handsworth, I was just looking where what we need or what we lack, and I thought we lack a little bit of pace and that rawness, and I know Aaron can bring that. So when I found out that Aaron were potentially available and would want to return back to Hallam, we had that conversation and we made it work. But Aaron is under no false hopes that he's not just going to be walking straight into this side. This team is we're working hard, they're playing well, scoring goals, winning games, not as consistent as I wanted to. So he knows that he's going to have to really come and put a shift in and work hard to get into that 11. So it's not a gimme, and he understands that. But it's lovely to see him, and he now needs to start playing well with a smile on his face and making good decisions on the football pitch.
And obviously you've brought the Ducks back. Let's hope the fact that you've played Handsworth 3 times this season, you've finally beaten them. Do you think, because one thing that Hallam have struggled with this season is your lack of consistency? It's been win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. Hopefully now, do you think that maybe this brings about a bit of a better run, shall we say, going into the new year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think every team wants to be consistent. That's how you climb up the league table. For me, I'll give. In all fairness, in terms of consistency, you need a consistent team, and we've not had that due to injuries and suspensions and illnesses and things like that. And that's like every other team in the leagues above and below. That's football, and it's how you deal with that. So now we've got most people most players available, fit. We then now can really focus on homing the sort of that consistency, and that's how we climb the table. Consistency in terms of defending, attacking, keeping clean sheets, scoring goals. That's what we want.
You mentioned a moment ago about the support in here, over 1,000 at Sandygate today. Just how important is that for your side, and how privileged are you to play in front of that?
Yeah, huge privilege to be a part of a club which are having 1,000+ supporters here. I know that Handsworth will be really well supported. I know the sort of like neutral will come out today. There's not many local non-league games around today, so I think coming to a tasty fixture as Hallam against the Ambers was always going to be a draw for your supporters, but yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. The players love it, for both opposition and anyone in that dugout, and it's fantastic. And we know that attendance has increased to these levels last season. We're super proud. I mean, that goes with all the hard work on both the pitch from the players in winning games and entertaining, but it also all the hard work from our chairman, the vice chairman, and all our volunteers connected to the football club. Everyone from the guy who does social media to the people working behind the bar, all the volunteers is a really big we're one big team, and I think that's something that's really grows the attendance. So we're absolutely buzzing and delighted that we can hit them numbers.
And finally from me, obviously Albion Sports up on in the new year, first game of the new year on Monday. How do you see that one going, sort of looking ahead into the new year?
Yeah, again, it's nice going into your next game after a win and a clean sheet. So we'll take that to Albion. Albion, a well-drilled side. They make it really difficult for us. Been there a few times, and I can't. And we not only can I wait to go and play them and obviously try and get the 3 points, but the curry after the game is absolutely fantastic.
Tell us more about this curry just before you go.
It's outstanding. It's probably the best away club to go to and look forward. Win, lose or draw, you've got some curry, chips, rice and everything at the end of the game. It's absolutely fantastic.
I think we might have to go up there alongside them. Craig, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, mate.
That's Craig Denton, manager of Hallam FC, with us live here on Football Forum. So, gents, that pretty much does it from us. Final thoughts then, because literally they've just turned the stand lights on for us primarily. Floodlights have all gone off. We need to get going very soon. Your final thoughts on the day as a whole, George?
Unbelievable.
Good?
Let's just go.
Unbelievable.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being up here, and I'll do it again sometime.
Lovely stuff. Ches?
Yeah, fantastic, Addis. I mean, the only times I've been here is to watch the football as a neutral, and to be fair, the football's been brilliant the last few times I've been here. Today, not so much, but it's Hallam coming on the right side of it, and it's always a pleasure to commentate, and first time commentating next to yourself as well. So
You're too kind. You're too kind. So that is about it from us. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Hallam victorious over Handsworth. There is no Christmas #1 in Sheffield, but Hallam climbing a bit higher up the Steel City tree. From George Barber, from Callum, Cheswick, from me, Joseph Hadfield. Thanks for joining us on Football Forum, and have a very happy new year. We're back in 2023. See you then. Good night.
This is Football Forum.